Send it! Here we go! This is Formula Drift, and we are on the streets of Long Beach for the first round. Your winner, Matt Field! Welcome out to Road Atlanta. This is round 2 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Thanks to Longdon Jr., 2-time champion.
The battles that we had at Orlando, I mean, they were intense. There was a lot of contact with the inside.
Whoa, are you kidding me? Look at that. That was awesome. This is Englishtown Raceway Park, also known as Round 4. Simon Olsen, Adam Elsey, neither have had a Formula Drift overall win, and one of them is going to make history. It is pro time here in St. Louis. The stage is set for round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. We saw Field get Denofa. We saw LZ. Who's going to come out on top? Frederick Osborne shook up the standings. Matt Field now leads the pack coming into this round. The finals are set. Odie Bakshis against a new points leader, Frederick Osborne. Come on, boys, send it! Odie Bakshis initiates in that first outside zone. Osborne cutting through that smoke line. Odie gets on the throttle. We have a new winner at round 5. Odie Bakshis gets the win unanimously. Send it!
What's up, guys? Odie Bakshis here. So from 2022 into this season, I made some massive changes. I was running a 2-car team, my pro car and the pro spec car driven by Ivan Bogovic. We just wanted to really step it up. We had a good formula and we just scaled it up. Now going into 2023, I'm running a 3-car team. My S15 driven by me, Simon Olsen's driven a pro car that's a brand new build, and the pro spec car is being driven by Ben Hobson. So far, we're having a great time. The cars are dialed, they're running great. We did so much work in the off season, getting them up to the competitive spec that they are. All the drivers got multiple test days, so we're coming in swinging. So even though I've tasked myself with being a team manager of 3 cars, I am still the driver of one of those cars. I still have to carry the burden of being ready as a driver, and also the burden of making sure that all 3 cars are running. I got a great team behind me, but I gotta make sure everyone's working together. It's this kind of stuff that keeps me going. It's what gets me out of bed. Just always continuously improving and building on this business model. It's a bit of a challenge, but it's also that energy that I need. It's kind of what I live for. So I'm very much looking forward to running all 3 cars this season, and we'll see where it goes into multiple seasons. One of the other big changes going into this season is the title sponsor. Now the title sponsor is my company, Field Suspension, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have it on all the cars. Ben Hobson's car is the pedal commander car. Field Suspension's still a very big presence on the car, but my car and Simon's car, Field Suspension's title. So feels great to pump my own brand and just put in front of everyone's face and let everyone see how involved Field Suspension is in motorsports, how involved they are on my team and so many other teams that we help out here at Formula Drift. Going into this season, I also changed tire brands. I am now running GT Radial, which is an amazing tire. We were blown away when we went testing. And it really helps that all 3 cars are on GT Radial. For example, if we change tire pressure throughout the day because it's getting cooler and it's gripping up, Simon could be maybe the first one that notices that, and he could tell me while I'm waiting to do my battle, and vice versa. So overall, it's amazing to be firstly on GT Radial and for all 3 cars to be.
All right, the stage is set, and as you can see, the beautiful backdrop that is Evergreen Speedway. We are here in Monroe, Washington, just north of Seattle, not too far, and I am going to be your host through the entirety of the weekend. And joining me here in the booth today, he's on the rotation of our 4 judges. You know, we have 3 judges every round, but one of them rotates out. So joining us is Robbie Bushido Blade Nishida.
Thank you for having me here. Great to be back in the States again.
Yeah, man, let's go. Again, saw you last night. I'm like, dude, and my man right here commutes back and forth from Japan. It's not like he stays here. So
if you catch me sleeping, it's probably from jet lag. Yeah. Sure.
And if we catch you, we're gonna take a photo of you because you always shame Sean Adriano, who's most recently on the Outer Zone podcast. You always take photos of him when he passes out when he's in Japan.
Yeah, because same going back over there. The whole. Oh. Jet lag and everything, but you know what? Besides the jet lag, look at this.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Great venue here.
Speaking of recharging, we lost power. We were about to go live, literally 4 minutes right before we went live, and we lost power in the booth. So I apologize for the delay, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll stay good. And we're powered up. We cranked some Rockstar, and we're ready to get fired up. You ready?
Yeah, we're ready. I'm ready.
Yeah. Now you just get to hang out and talk some smack today, and you're not joining me tomorrow. Ryan Sage is joining me tomorrow.
Yes.
All right. Now keep in mind, this is stop number 6 of 8 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. This is again a pro round exclusively, no pro spec. So today is qualifying. Tomorrow is game day. Look at this variety. Matt Field, something to prove in Long Beach, gets the victory. Vaughn Gittin Jr. He's shaking things up. I mean, this is only his second round of the year. Also, keep in mind, Vaughn's won here the past 2 years. Can he go 3 in a row?
He was looking really good during practice too, so it is a possibility. And
this is how it kicked off on the streets of Long Beach. Like I said, Matt Field had something to prove. It came down to the final round. Irwindale in our 2022 season, a wild and wacky event. Did not fare well for Matt Field, but now, boom, he's got his custom painted Momo shoes. I saw those. He's debuting them here this weekend. See if add a little pep in his step. And going to Atlanta, this is what I was talking about. Vaughn Gittin Jr., it came all together for him, man. And it was, I think, really, really cool and just sentimental in the finals. 2 OGs of the sport, Chris Forsberg and Vaughn Gittin Jr. In 04, the first year, they were both there. But this time, Vaughn got the win. Now going into round 3, another RTR vehicle wins. Chelsea Denofa. What do you think of Chelsea this season?
Hey, Chelsea's always a wild driver, and everybody probably enjoys watching him. And, this victory is, well done for him. And I think these cars are pretty much unstoppable now.
All right, well, you say that, but they are stoppable because, actually, no, not just yet, because in New Jersey, right? So 3 RTR victories in a row. Vaughn in Atlanta, Chelsea Denofa, and then Adam LZ gets the win in New Jersey. Absolutely amazing. Congratulations to him. Simon Olsen, he was on the box, but it came down to Odie Bakshi's delivering in St. Louis. He got the win over Frederick Osbo, who does assume the points lead in the championship coming into this round. And with the 1 and 3 punch, I should say, Simon Olsen rounds out the podium in a very wacky kind of St. Louis event. But look at that. Wow, you see that exhale there. That speaks volumes.
The live stream with Odie and his team. Yep. And like you said, Simon Olsen being on the podium multiple times, they're proving that they have a strong team.
Yep. Well, this is K&N Knockout qualifying. Speaking of K&N, myself, Larry Chen, Matt Field, and Chris Forsberg will be at the booth tomorrow. They got some new sweet shirts they just dropped. They dropped a blackout shirt of Forsberg, right? So it's really cool design. And then Larry Chen's got his own shirt over there as well. He's got a little Peaker pocket tee, and they just dropped their brand new K&N Lean Customs pins. And I don't know if you've seen it, the 00 vehicle. Now they have the 001. But taking a look here at our K&N Knockout qualifying, you can see we start from the bottom and then we work our way to the top. So first up, we see Kyle the Menace Mohan. Kyle Mohan, Renewable Lubricants, E-Flex Mazda RX-8.
Yeah, the lonely and only rotary in the series right now. Let's see how it goes today.
Here we go. Kyle the Menace Mohan comes out of the gates. He's going to be one and done. He'd love to put down a run and then just park it. Kyle Mohan, good angle. The car's looking very settled. Flirts with that wall. You see him shimming just a little bit there. Now he's going to transition to this power alley, as we call it, that outside zone 2 into outside zone 3. Transitioning. He's going to tighten it up to that inside clip. Boom, right on it. Really well done. Master class into that final outside zone. That wall, as small as that little section is, could absolutely ruin your run. You hit that wall, straightens you out, and you get an incomplete. But that was a really good run for Kyle Mohan.
We saw a couple of cars hitting the wall during practice too, so it looks pretty deadly. But it looks like Kyle's run, Could have been a little bit more higher on the bank, a little bit more angle throughout the track. But overall, he does have a lap in, so we'll see what the judges have to say. A little bit of a shimmering. Looks like he paused when he was going towards the outside zone. The first outside zone, second outside zone, and the third outside zone. It looks like he has a little bit of space that he could fill. He left some stuff on the table. Like you said, he did tighten up the inside clip and finished it off. So let's see what the judges have to say. But
Good
overall,
commitment there. I like the commitment, didn't?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, came off it a little bit, like you said, a little bit of hesitation.
And I think, after, like the 20th year of Formula Drift, multiple times we've back in this track during the whole 20 years. I think this is one of the longest banks that we have, right? So it takes.
I was going to ask
commitment.
you, what's your take on this track?
I love this track. This is the first. I mean, I podiumed on this track back in '85 or something. So no, this is one of my favorite tracks. Yeah. So it's very committing and very fun.
Let's walk through our K&N keys to success, easy for me to say. Tight on the walls, outside zone 1. Yep. You want to initiate, like we just saw with Kyle Mohan, but ride that thing, locked and loaded.
And that's like you got to be close all the way through at the end of the bank to coming off the bank. You got to make sure that you fill outside zone 1. And after that, there's a decel area there. So you have to make sure that you decel there and don't do any decelling going through outside zone 2.
Yep.
Make sure you fill outside zone 2. Going outside zone 3, you have to make sure that you're not doing a transition too late where you're transitioning through the outside zone 3 and make sure you're to angle and high rate of angle actually.
Yep. All right, scores are coming in here for Kyle the Menace Mohan, and see what he gets, where he lands. I haven't looked at the drivers list. Some drivers fall out. I see Forrest Wang is back with us. That's great. So yeah, very, very cool. So I believe we are going to have 35 minus 4. I think we have 31 drivers. So
yes.
So what's cool about that? If you're number 1 qualifier, boom, baby. Yep. You get the fast pass, man. You don't even need to pay extra like at Disneyland. You know what I mean? Boom, you just jump right to 16.
Because 32 is probably one of the most nerve-wracking rounds for some of the drivers because you want to make sure that you make it into the top
of the
16.
show. Well, guess what? So again, if that rings true, 31 drivers, and that's what I'm seeing here. Kyle Mohan will be in the show, but where he lands, nobody knows. 75.66 for Kyle the Menace Mohan. Up next, Diego Higa, the Brazilian driver. Again, the JDM Supreme. Talking about that, the 00 Subaru, that's owned by JDM Supreme as well. So let's take a look. Diego Higa, the Brazilian pilot, initiates into that first outside zone. Look at that counter. You see that front, you're seeing the tread of that front tire. That's a sign of really locked and loaded. Quick little yank on that brake, little left foot brake. Almost a small minimal correction there as he adjusted going to that power alley. Outside zone 2, outside zone 3, dials it in. Could have been a little tighter to that inside clip. All right, and there it goes. This vehicle, it might look familiar, obviously the livery, his own, but this is a vehicle that was campaigned by Ryan Turk, purchased by JDM Supreme, and a little bit of a collab event or activation for the 23 season between, again, the Brazilian driver Diego Higa and JDM Supreme.
Yeah, so being in this car this year, looks like he started off really strong. There's probably a few things that was going on with the car they're going through, and looks like he's back. A little bit of wavering, like you said, coming off the outside zone 1, but the rest of the track looks like he does a pretty good job in filling the zones. He does have a little bit of space at inside clip as well. But yeah, coming off the outside zone 1 area right here, having to adjust and make an adjustment might be something. And also the transition going to the outside zone 3 might be a little late. Where a lot of the judges were talking about at the driver's meeting, they want to make sure that the car is fully decelled after you do the transition, not while you're doing the transition. So they want to make sure that the car is the rear is facing towards the outside zone 3 from the beginning, and then that's where you can start the decel.
Were there any other standout comments that you and the judges discussed in the driver's meeting that the fans should know?
Well, looking at and watching the practice, we really noticed that if you miss outside zone 1, that's like the most critical area. It kind of messes up your line going all the way to the outside zone 3 and the switchback and everything. So here you go, the red line over there. That's the outside zone 1. You have to make sure that the car is really high and tight on the wall, on the bank. And the decel area we talked about is towards the end of the outside zone 1, right when you're coming off the bank. And outside zone 2, you want to make sure that the car is fully angled, and make sure you use the angle to do a quick flick back to the outside zone 3. And the rest of it is pretty much, you know, high angle throughout the inside clip and going towards the last outside zone.
All right, taking a look at the pits there as we drop in, and Diego Higa drops in with an 82 for Mr. Higa. Next up, Ula Jaeger. So I'm seeing Ula on the start line. Ooh la la ah wee wee. Here we go, Jaeger on the line.
That's another exciting driver to watch as well. So
yeah, he's been campaigning for a while. I think he wants to prepare a new vehicle. He's looking to level up here. He's got his classic Mark IV Japan Auto Toyota Supra. Look at that. We got the Norwegian flag. Got 3 Norwegian pilots in the championship this year. Very fluid. I like that line there by Jaeger. He drew it up really well done. Could have been tighter on the outside zone 3, and then boom, tightened up. Scrubs a lot of speed. Now hammered down and filled all that outside zone. That was a great view there. And you really, I think, you know, taking a look at that angle really showcased on how much he filled of that last outside zone.
yeah, so his run overall wasn't edgy, but it was very, very smooth.
Clean.
Yeah, it was very smooth and clean. He did leave a little on the table, probably for points, maybe on some of the outside zones. Let's go ahead and take a look at it again right here. Very smooth transition. I'm not going to say it's the most exciting initiation, but very smooth to angle, and keeps it pretty tight on the outside zone 1 area. A little shallow on the line at outside zone 2 and 3, but very smooth switch back. Pretty close on the inside clip, and finishes off the track right here. So he probably looked the most exciting at the last or towards the end of the track. Everything else was very smooth, but overall, no major mistakes, but I wouldn't say there was a lot of X factor in it.
And that's exactly, great segue there. It's clean, it's sterile, and how judging is working this year in the 2023 season, is 100 points available. 90 for your line, your angle, your style. The 10 to get the perfect score is the X factor. That's the rate to angle, the snappiness, just risking it for the biscuit, really just putting it out there. X, it's unknown, right? So what's going to be that? And I think to your point, and in my sentiments as well, is it was clean, it was smooth. Did it have the like boom punch your face like what? Did did the fans erupt? No.
I mean, I physically,
the answer is no, but it was clean, and that's going to lend well to like, hey, just get in the show. You can't win in qualifying. You got to get to the main event.
Yeah, even when I'm judging or when I'm watching or commentating, the runs that makes me kind of almost get out of my seat or even say, whoa, literally, those are the runs that usually get the higher X factor points.
And absolutely indicative right there, X factor 0. So 74 points for Mr. Jaeger. Next up, João Berrion, another Brazilian driver, the Corvette Barbarius GT Radial, São Paulo. And taking a look at the start list, so we saw up until Jaeger, now we got to João, you got Power, Sorensen, Jones, Beecham, and Thorne. Here comes João Berrion, here we go. See how he didn't get a lot of practice time, about 6 or 7 runs for João, so, but look at that, oh wow, just as I said that, he kind of came out of drift, straightened up just a little bit. I mean, absolutely hammering down, almost overshoots the outside zone 3. Just slingshots himself into the power alley, exits out, and a nasty little snap there into that last outside zone. So I think João found his special sauce is just zip tie that gas pedal down and just steer, right? It seemed like he did not lift at all.
It sounded like full throttle throughout the track. But I'm going to have to point out a few things on this run right here. Coming down the straightaway, and right here tries to get into angle, but it looks like he starts to drop mid-bank here. A little bit of waver there, and gets closer towards the end of the outside zone 1. fills outside zone 2, but hangs in there a little bit too long. It looks like he doesn't do a transition until the beginning of outside zone 3. So that's going to be a deduction for sure, probably from the judge's eyes, because you have to make sure that the rear end is swung around by the time you hit the outside zone 3. And kind of being away from the wall, half of the bank is actually going to hurt his score as well. But after that area, I would have to say this inside clip all the way to the last outside zone. He looked like, you said, zip-tied his gas pedal to the floor. Full throttle, it sounded good. So let's see what the judges have to say.
Bummer. Getting an update from Jeff Jones, his team. They said he hurt the motor, definitely down one cylinder. They're skipping their first qualifying run.
Yeah, we saw Jeff Jones' car. I think it caught on fire or something in practice. Yeah. Something was obviously wrong. Hopefully he can get that squared away.
Yeah, again, defecting to his second run. All right, thanks for joining us out here. Hey, Seattle, Monroe, stomp your feet real quick. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Stomp your feet. I always talk about the electricity. See, when
electricity coming from the fans.
From the fans. We charge the place now. Yeah. We're powered up now. Joao Barry on with a 79.66. Some of the best fans in drifting here. People always ask me, hey, what's your favorite? I instinctively always say Atlanta, but I got to say, Seattle's a pretty close second. So definitely love.
There's a lot of people today too coming to watch. So this is great.
Tomorrow it's going to be sold out. I mean, we've sold out. It's really hard to sell at Atlanta, but we sold out Long Beach. St. Louis can't sell that place out. It's massive, but big crowds, and man, they endured some crazy heat. Here we go, Ryan Littoral, the Power Stop Brakes GT Radio. Speaking of the heat, here we go, Ryan Littoral, the RB Army. He flies that flag, and he flies it proudly. The Heritage wheels coming to a halt there. Now transitioning into that power alley. You saw a little left foot brake into that. Now a little correction out of that last outside zone. A wide swing, tries to tighten it back up. And into that last outside zone. Looks like he's fighting the car a little bit there, especially very
speaking about like smoothness and maybe stability, he didn't have it fully, it looks like, throughout the track. And it wasn't just on the bank, it looked like it happened a little bit on the infield as well. But we'll go ahead and check out the replay right here. Initiation, right to the point, and it doesn't look like he gets closer and closer. It looks like he's slightly wavering even through the bank. Kind of kicks out a little bit of angle towards the end. It fills outside zone 2. Then he does do a late transition going to outside zone 3. Does miss a little bit of the inside clip and some of the outside zone 3 as well. So like you were talking about, it looks like he is kind of fighting the car a little bit. Yeah. I don't know if it's an issue or maybe even, trying a new setup or something like that, but he does have a run in the book, so we'll see what the judge is going to score.
Yeah, Ryan Littoral, definitely a big personality from the Inland Empire.
Yeah, and I mean, like, was it last event or he was on fire.
Yeah, he was
literally on fire.
He was literally. He was very literal. Ken Naka qualifying continues, 76. That's a 76. So seeing a lot of 70s kids rise to the occasion. Speaking of power, lost power. Y'all got a lot of power, a lot of energy. Let's go to Mike Power. Mike Power is up next.
That's an awesome last name, though.
I know.
Power. I got power.
Dude, it's a flex. Like Will Power, right? Mike Power. Matt Powers.
Yeah, Matt
He's got
Powers.
multiple.
There you go. Yep.
He's got all the powers. Not a singular power. He's got powers. The Sheeta, Deenda.
It's like kind of lame. Oh, Deenda sounds good. It's like
I honestly, I do like my last name. I hate my first name. Did you know that?
Really?
I hate Jared. That's why I can name my kids Parker and Tyson. Because how many? I mean, do you know how to spell my name?
J-A-R-O-D.
How many R's? Only one. Yep, that's why. Mike Power. You know how to spell that, and he's about to spell the score out for y'all. Here we go. Good initiation. Let's go. Mike Power in that Type S, S15. Ooh. Yeah. I'm telling you, he hasn't gotten a lot of seat time. I think that's been a little bit of an Achilles heel. He overshoots it. That might be, I know for sure, 2. Might be 3.
That might even be
that might be an incomplete. Big correction there.
Oh man, he was
the
wall ride on the bank was pretty amazing. And
that had a little extra sauce.
Yeah,
little X Factor
coming
sauce.
off the bank when he was filling the last part of the outside zone 1, 2, he was really close to the wall, and it really looked great. But I don't know if it gripped up or what when he was, maybe decelling or something, and the front end pretty much, he had to straighten his steering wheel a lot. So it really depends on how the judges see it, if they're going to incomplete that or not for straightening. But the rest of the track right there, they're probably going to be looking at it at a different angle. From where I saw sitting here, it looked like he did straighten the steering a lot coming off the bank. But then the rest of the track, there are some areas where he left a little bit of space out in the outside zones, but pretty much this wall ride was insane. Very exciting to see right there.
Yep. I liked it until I didn't. Went a little south there, unfortunately, for Mr. Power. Speaking of Mike Power and Type S, tomorrow I'll be joining him and Larry Chen. I'll be over there at 3:30 at the booth. So come on by, high fives and handshakes with Larry Chen. Play the game, win some things, and we are finding out, yes, unfortunately, Mike Power loses power, and he gets an incomplete. Yeah, so he's forced to a second run.
And that's one of those things we talk about at the drivers' meetings and also with the drivers and the teams, where it's like, don't leave it in the judges' hands, where it's like it could have been straightened, maybe there was a little bit of counter steer, but going back and forth, if that was car chasing and if they weren't fully drifting, it'll be really hard for the chase car to chase. So unfortunately it's an incomplete this time, but looking at the wall ride, he's going to probably do great on his second run. Yeah, just tighten it up. All right, so moving on to our next driver. Looks like we got Mr. Sorensen, Brandon Sorensen, United States Air Force BMW from Las Vegas, Nevada. This young man, definitely a talent. Had some troubles with his vehicle in St. Louis. Looks like he's got it back together. Brandon Sorensen flicks in, and look at that, just really sticking it to the wall. Comes off it, but that's where he's got to come off. Into that second outside zone. Oh, right there on the course edge. Good transition, fluid into that third. Could be a little tight to that inside clip, but very fluid line. He's the commander of that pedal, and that Air Force pedal commander BMW. Brandon Sorensen, give it up. The crowd applauds. So Brandon is 19, right?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I mean, what were you doing when you were 19?
You don't want to know.
So here you go, Brandon flicks his car into the outside zone 1 area, the bank. It looks like he stays really high in the bank, a little bit of wavering towards the end of it, so he does come off the bank a little bit earlier, but the rest of the way, he has a little bit of space where he can fill at outside zone 3 and the inside clip, but pretty much does what he needs to do on the track. A lot of throttle, I would have to say, just picking all the mistakes that we can see right here, right there, the wavering, looked like he started to come off the bank a little too early and try to adjust the car back to the outside zone 1 area. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure, well, I'm not judging today, but all the judges, they have to watch all the small things and small details and make, that's what's going to make the difference from the #1 qualifier and somebody who doesn't qualify high.
Great point, good vantage point. Again, Robbie sitting out this round. By the way, our 3 judges that are scrutinizing the runs: Chris Yule, Brian Eggert, Ryan Lontaine. So yeah, Jeff Jones was intended to run, but he texted me, says the piston left the chat. Oof, yeah.
As painful it is, also expensive.
82 and 82 for Brandon Sorensen. Yeah, and speaking of Jeff Jones, Evil Auto Works, based in Redlands, California. My son just picked up his car from there. They were working on his car. So shout out to Evil Auto Works, Adrian and Jeff and their whole camp. So hopefully get something together and get it out there. Trent Beecham debuting a new car here this year, the Next Entire Clonex Racing BMW. See what Beecham's got for us. LS powered BMW. Initiates into the bank. The car settled. Gets tight to it. He's coming. He's going for it, man. See how he handles his transition in the second outside zone. Throws some more angle at it into the second outside zone, but does fill the third outside zone. Trent Beecham, he is on one. lights it up across the finish line. Probably the best run I've seen from Beecham outside of Long Beach, man.
Yeah,
that was really solid.
We were watching. I think he had a couple of runs during practice as well that was like just came out of nowhere, where he is able to really shine. And maybe this is one of the runs that were close to that. So let's go ahead and check out the replay. He was, high and tight on the bank most of the time.
Yeah.
I guess just being picky, maybe he came off of the bank a little early, but most likely this is pretty much, yeah, I think there's a little bit of space there towards the end of it, but he does fill the zones very well. He does have a little bit of space at the outside zone 3 area and the inside clip, but overall looks like he does have a lot of throttle. Very exciting to watch. And I would have to say the initiation, though, he kind of just slowly started into drifting. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of spike and snappiness there. But overall, he does have a score because, the throttle work, though. I don't even know if some of these drivers know throttle work because it's pretty much just pedal to the metal and, lets the car do its thing. So just, small things.
It's a funnel of a course. If you look at it, big, massive, wide open entry, tightens up into the power alley, tightens up to the inner clip, and then tightens up. So it just slowly funnels down into just getting tighter and tighter.
Yeah, and right at the end, there's a wall there too, so you really have to be careful because like we were talking about earlier, some of these drivers went into the wall during practice, and doesn't look like it feels good.
Right. And Trenton Beecham gets an 80, so a good score for him, just 0.6 on that X factor, so could definitely step it up there. We're up atop here in the booth. Robbie and I
right here.
A little peace sign. Thank you so much. And again, our 3 judges, they are just on the other side, over on that side. Got Ryan Lontaine, Chris Ewell, and Brian Eggert. Those are our 3 judges of this round of competition. Again, the format, we have 4 judges. 1 rotates out, such as this weekend here. Robin Sheeta's chatting with me. Ryan Sage will be joining me tomorrow for 32 and 16. Yeah, so just for 16?
Yeah, and I think for 32, Lontaine will be.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to be judging the tandem and also speaking. And I'm going to be doing, me and Sean Adriano will be doing judge and driver's tour.
All right, so just rotate. I'll be here.
You'll be here.
I'll be here.
Yeah.
Robert Thorne, the ASM BMW. Let's see what Robert Thorne's got, keeping it safe with that Momo gear. Good transition there by Robert Thorne. Look at that. Look at minimal steering wheel feed into that Momo wheel on that second and now 3rd outside zone. Robert Thorne, he is our, I would say, defending prospect champion. He won last year, but obviously making the jump to pro. Ooh, does go outside. And that's going to be a hit. That's going to straighten him out because, again, that's going to be an incomplete, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know, he was losing juice, it sounded like, towards the end of the track, but he kind of had to play it off after the outside zone 3 going to the inside clip. Let's go ahead and check out the replay here. It looked like he was, high and tight on the bank. Very exciting to see. Looks like he was coming off the bank a little early, but a little bit of space at the outside zones. And right here, after he leaves outside zone 3, it looks like he has to straighten and lose counter steer. And right before the finish line at the wall at the last outside zone, he goes a little too wide. His rear hits the wall and he pretty much straightens and drives off without no counter steer. So that's most likely going to be an incomplete, unfortunately.
Right.
But we know what this driver can do. So I'm pretty sure he's going to spring back for the second run.
Yep. And he is forced to go to his second run with an incomplete. The next up, we got Nick Novak. Novak Racing BMW. Bummer for Thorne. And another BMW. Again, a very popular chassis over the last few years.
Yeah, that's like the next S chassis.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Just they're more available. The aftermarket is supporting it, right? So all the suspension companies and all that, just, keeping it modular. Here we go. Nick Novak Racing, GT Radio BMW. Oh, has some corrections there, unfortunately. Novak. Now it looks like he gets very settled. Second half of that bank. into the power alley, second and third outside zone. Transition in that final outside zone. Didn't have a lot of angle there. Just again, maybe fighting the car again.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, especially through the bank as well. It looked like he was on a very lower rate of angle, but let's go ahead and check out the replay. And like you brought up too, at the beginning of the, I want to go ahead and double check and see that, the beginning of the bank.
Yeah.
Right here it goes to initiate, and right there, looked like he had to pull, he gave it more angle, and he had to pull out a little bit, and as you can see, the smoke trail looked like he kind of lifted a little. Maybe there's some kind of adjustment going on, and he gets into more of a higher rate of angle after the transition, going to the outside zone 3. We would like to see, or I'm pretty sure the judges would like to see more angle overall, but right here, initiates, pulls out a little bit, then readjusts the line, and it looks like he almost got too close to the wall at one point, maybe mid-bank, and had to let off
like
a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah. He did a good job.
One of these.
I'm about to get punched by Jared right now.
You didn't even flinch though. I was trying to showcase flinching.
I know you wouldn't do that, but
oh.
Yeah.
What?
Yet. We're not drinking or anything, so you won't do it right now.
Well, maybe tonight. Maybe tonight we'll get some adult beverages.
Yeah, but yeah, Novak, I mean, just like all the other drivers, you know, pedal to the metal, a lot of exciting driving out here. And like I keep repeating myself, you know, the judges are looking at all the small mistakes that they pick up, and they have to include that into the scoring.
I didn't know you're a big Blink-182 fan. You keep saying all the small things. I had no idea. I would not take you as a Blink-182 fan, but that's cool. Have you been on the Formula Drift podcast yet with Jacob? Have you been on it yet?
No.
I guess Jacob doesn't like you.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't, or maybe he probably thinks I'm sleeping when he's awake.
Big facts.
Yeah, because I'm in Japan. So.
Well, your homie over there, Sean Adriano, was on it.
Yeah, I just saw that last night. So, I mean, it's kind of good to show and talk about what's on the inside sometimes, and some of you guys would probably understand where we come from, you know?
So the official Formula Drift podcast, check it out. Let's see, 74.33. 74.33 for Nick Novak. Look at Nick Novak. Yeah, big Nickelback fan. Here we go, Vaughn Gittin Jr. He won in Atlanta. Welcome back, Vaughn Gittin Jr. and this Ford RTR, Ford Mustang. The Monster Energy vehicle comes in shredding. He's won here 2 years in a row. Can he do it again? Oh, look at that, throwing more angle at it. He is possessed. Look at that angle from Vaughn Gittin Jr. who throws a nasty flick at it. Thought it was going to come unwound, but no. Vaughn Gittin Jr., two-time champ. Sounds like it's breaking up, but no. What?
Yeah, you know,
what the
honestly,
heck was that?
Honestly, his practice runs were
bonkers,
just crazy, and we were just like, oh my god. And right now, it looks like
that's right.
It looks like you know, he was not as high on the bank, and it looked like he wasn't able to fill the zones as he was driving through them. So let's go ahead and check this out.
Yeah, our COVID season, he won both 2 days in a row. Remember that?
Oh, yeah,
the doubleheader.
Yeah,
that's right. Sage
2 days in a row, and that's what he looked like he was driving earlier. But this run that for the qualify doesn't look like he does 100% right here. Misses outside zone 3. And like you said, you know, it sounded like something was going on with the car maybe. But he wasn't too close on the inside clip, and he barely finished off the track. So
it had X factor, but he didn't hit the outside zones properly.
No,
he was driving like Chelsea was driving.
Yeah,
right. He had a little Chelsea flavor to him.
Yeah, and you know, we're not comparing it or anything. We're just looking at this run. But like,
no, we're scrutinizing. We're judging
from what I saw in his practice runs. It's been crazy.
Right. I'm always judging, even though I'm not judging. I'm always judging. Like I like your beard. Your beard looks good. Like
yours looks good too.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. So past champions, you can see Vaughn within that 2010 and 2020, and again, you have three-time champions in the building. You know, the RTR camp. You know, James Dean would love to join the ranks of winning a round in a Ford Mustang this year. You know, between Adam, Chelsea, and Vaughn, they've gotten wins. The big tall drinking glass of James the Machine Dean, 8 foot tall. I don't know if you've seen him, but 74 74.66. So no X factor for Vaughn Gittin Jr. You gotta come with it. So unfortunately, Vaughn,
Yeah.
he definitely threw it out there. But
I think, you know, because of the heavy throttle and the way he handles the car, the X factor looks like it's there. But I think the judges want to see that the car is or they're delivering all the way. Like, let's say whatever that he tried, they're able to make it all the way to the outside zones and so forth. So
here we go, Alec Robbins. Alec Robbins from Minnesota. Let's see how he does. This big V8 Nissan Z into that outside zone. Definitely a very fast driver. Looking a little more precision right now. You see yanking on the handbrake. Massage it into outside zone 3. Big angle on that inside clip. Exceeds the course line, but just dropping that back left tire. This to me is kind of reminiscent of Ula Jaeger's run. You know, he you know, showed up, got involved, but put down a run on the table.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that this is probably not one of the exciting runs that we saw from him overall today. Right here, initiates, kind of gets into drift, and gets closer and closer to the wall on the bank, but it looks like he wavers a little bit, and almost like kind of fighting to stay close on the wall, and misses outside zone 3, and dips the left rear tire here. Then since he fills the beginning of the outside zone 4, he kind of leaves it a little too early because of the line he went into it and dipping the tire there. Now it looks like he got a little too close mid-bank, and he had to readjust himself or something. So, and yeah, even outside zone 2 doesn't get all the way to the outside of it. So I'm not sure if it's going to be like too much grip in the car, or maybe the track condition might be changing from what it was for practice.
All right, let's see where Alec Robbins comes out. Beautiful day here in Seattle. Nice breeze clearing out the smoke. It's funny, when I came midday here, and when you come, you know, all the beautiful trees, the roads, depending on which way you come in. There's a score real quick. 73 for Alec Robbins. You see off in the distance Evergreen Speedway and the fairgrounds here, and you just see this cloud of smoke hovering. You know, and if you didn't know what's going on, like,
oh my God,
heck?
yeah, something's
what is going
on there.
over there? Yeah, just during practice pulling up. It's definitely impressive.
Yeah, so you're right. You brought up, you know, Ola Jaeger's run earlier, and you said it was very similar, and it is similar in score as well, because Ola got a 74, and
there you go.
Alec got a 73. So
yeah.
Good eye.
Yeah.
Hey,
good eye,
is
mate.
this the first time?
Good eye, mate.
You've been doing it for a while?
You said good eye. Oh, I thought you said good eye.
No, not good day.
My bad. Yeah, but this is my first event, dude.
Really?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Pretty good.
I appreciate it. All right, so there we are, taking a look at our qualifying results thus far. Talking about Diego Higa, Sorensen, Beecham up in the mix. Next up, full pole, Taylor Hull. Let's see what we got here from this Comp Cam's Corvette. The whole family cheering on Taylor Hull. All right, got the Kenda tires on the corners. And here we go. Wild Willie's beard oil, keeping good, keeping it looking shiny and crisp. All right, Taylor Hull, look at that. Just very calm, settled. Now comes into that power rally. Into that third outside zone. Big angle from him. Tight to that inside clip, and then brings it on home. Take me home. Pow, pow. Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the big things that I saw, as we go through the replay, we'll go ahead and talk about it, but he looks like he's on throttle most of the time, so that's a good thing. And there's one area where he wavered a lot on the bank, but overall, there was a few areas where he could have tightened the outside zones, but pretty smooth and collective overall. So right here, initiates very close to the wall from the beginning of the bank. And I think this angle might be hard to see the wavering, but there was wavering at the middle of the bank. Fills the outside zone 2. Has some space on the close to the wall in outside zone 3. A little bit of space in the inside clip, but finishes off pretty strong here with a lot of throttle. Here's another view. There you go, right there. It looks like a little bit of wavering, maybe 1/4 into the bank. Could have been a little bit closer to the outside zone 1, but I think it's fair enough. Outside zone 3 does have a little bit of space, as well as the inside clip. But overall, a solid, clean run by Taylor. His car matches the flag.
And I proudly stand up. That's you. That's you right behind that. There she is. There you are.
Right.
Thanks for joining us here. Thanks for skipping work. Your boss called, said you're fired. Saw you on the live stream. Thanks for showing up, but you don't have a job anymore.
Yeah, we're sorry.
Yeah. But not sorry you're here with a 79. Taylor Hole, 79. Rocking the stars and stripes. All right, so continuing on here in the K&N knockout qualifying. Speaking of K&N, like I said, go by their booth. They have some really cool stuff that they debuted here just this weekend. They got a collab shirt with Larry Chen, a collab shirt with Chris Forsberg, the brand new 001 pin. If you haven't seen it, it's a BMW E36. It's pretty sweet. So head on over there, check that out. Here we go, Forrest Wang. Forrest Wang, Yellow Speed Racing. We haven't seen him in Formula Drift for a few rounds. Now he's back. Let's see if he's bringing that Wang energy. Ooh, big Wang bangs, and it goes in.
Yeah, he was kind of shallow going into the bank, and I was wondering there was some kind of problem. But yes, he did hit the rear. The front washed in.
Okay, a little bit of panic here, just making sure he's okay. Yeah, you know, want to make sure he's all right. Little bit of frantic there, you know. First priority is making sure he's okay.
Yeah, and he's moving inside, and looks like they're having a conversation. So most likely, and hopefully he's all right. But you know, the damage to the car, you know.
See if he can bounce back.
Yeah, some of these parts are, you know, made so that it doesn't make more damage to the inside and the core of the car. So it could be arms that are easily broken.
What went wrong here?
Check this out. Yeah, it looks like he initiated, but started to go down on the bank. He couldn't stay high, so it looked like he was trying to get the car back up onto the bank, and that's what happened. You know, it looked like
So he was going down and then tried to work his way back up, and
I think so.
And he smashed.
Yeah, so it
into
didn't
the wall.
work out. At the end, it didn't work out, I guess. But he did hit the rear, the front washed back in, and hopefully this is just, you know, when it comes down to damage, you know, if it's the arms and the arms give, pretty much you won't have damage to the subframe. But if it's down to, you know, the subframe being tweaked, that's kind of a major repair that you have to do. And now that he's sitting on an incomplete, you have to make sure that he does have the car back for the second run.
All right, so as you can see, Higa, Sorensen, Beecham are top 3. A lot of remaining drivers, about 15 or so, 15, 18 or 17 or so. So we'll clean up, unfortunately, Forrest Wang. The 808 will get towed off. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here, round 6 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship at Evergreen Speedway.
Rockstar Energy gets me energized so I can go out and send it. Hustle on.
going on, everyone? Daniel Ricciardo here. I'm going to mount up some GoPros and do a few laps.
It is pro time here in St. Louis. The stage is set for round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. We saw Field, Kid, Denofa, we saw LZ. Who's gonna come out on top? Frederick Osbo shook up the standings. Matt Field now leads the pack coming into this round. The finals are set. Odie Bakshis against a new points leader, Frederick Osbo. Come on, boys, send it! Odie Bakshis initiates in that first outside zone.
Osbo cutting through that smoke line. Odie gets on the throttle.
We have a new winner at round 5. Odie Bakshis gets the win unanimously. Send it! Look at that beautiful backdrop here, Evergreen Speedway. An absolutely beautiful course. Great people. Here's our current standings after 5 rounds of the Pro Championship. Frederick Osbo regains that lead after he got 2nd place, most recently in St. Louis. Matt Field, you can see just a few points behind. I mean, again, 43 points separating 1st and 5th. And look at that, 2 of them. You got Odie and Simon Olsen. Forsberg just outside, knocking on the door. James Dean, Ryan Turk, Dylan Hughes, John Thunders. Look at 3 of the 3 champions in the top 10. All 3 of the 3, you know what I mean. RCP. Again, just a variety of names here.
Yeah,
Forrest Lang still in 18.
Looking at the top 10, it's like, yeah, the top 10 looks super close. And as you see, you know, 22nd place, Von Gittin Jr., you know, the last time he drove in Formula Drift here this year, he won.
Yep.
And it looked like he was on fire during practice too, so he's going to do some damage to the championship race.
Here's the Manufacturers Cup. Ford obviously leading the pack with those 3 victories, and that's quite a substantial lead there over Toyota, Chevy, Nissan, and Dodge. In order, and again, the manufacturers, not just the chassis, you have to have matching manufacturer engine and chassis. So again, like, you know, like say like Odie Bakshis, right? He doesn't contribute to Nissan because he's got an LS under the hood of the Nissan, so it needs to be
something
like Forsberg has, you know, has the VR engine, which is the GTR engine, under the hood of his all-new Nissan Z. Get it?
Yes.
Got it.
Got it.
Good. Dean Carnage Carney, the Hyper NFT.io Dodge Viper. Here we go, the Carnage about to be unleashed. Unleash the Kraken. Here we go. The Kraken Carney into that first big outside zone. Lacking a little bit of angle. Like to see a little bit more here. He throws him at it, but look at that. I mean, I like how settled the car was. So maybe, you know, compromising angle, but getting that consistency. A little correction there in that first outside and only outside or inside zone, excuse me. And that final taps the wall but stays in it, so doesn't disrupt the car a lot.
Yeah,
again,
it looked like we have to check out the replay to make sure that he finishes off through the finish line. But it looks like he was blazing through the first outside zone, which is the bank. And right here, as you brought up a little bit about the angle, yes, we would like to see a little bit more angle, but car placement-wise, he looks like he's fairly close to the most of the outside zone 1. Doesn't get as close, or doesn't fill the outside zone 2 as much as he should be, and left a little bit of space at the outside zone 3 area. But right there, he does tap the wall, and from that angle I was seeing, hopefully he finishes off the track and drives through the finish line with angle, because we do have, and the drivers have to finish off the track through the finish line drifting, and they cannot straighten before that. So just want to double check, and pretty sure that the judges are going to be looking at this very closely, where there's a tap, and I don't even know. It looks really dark, so we have different views. We'll see what the judges have to say, but that could be a possible incomplete as well because of the last.
Real quick, 2 grown men just enjoying some ice cream on a Friday afternoon. Yeah, look at this. Two grown men, happy. Like, look at these guys, young and hard.
Hey, you guys eating ice cream?
But my homeboy right here just throwing number 1.
Yeah.
He's throwing powers out right now.
That's right.
He's got some sorcery or something. I think that's the last airbender right there behind them. Guys, don't turn around. That guy, I don't know what he's got, under that hat, but
he was really calm.
Yeah, he was chill.
Yeah, to be on the screen. Yeah, right here. Let's go ahead and check this out. I think the judges are looking at the last outside zone right here after the wall. Boom, and does he have angle? But even if he does, the rate of angle drops very fast because of the wall tap. And as I was saying, you do have to drift through the finish line, and it did look really close. So that's really up to the judges. And we repeat ourselves about this. Don't leave it in the hands of the judges. Make it very obvious where if there wasn't a wall hit and if there wasn't a wavering, we wouldn't have to go over the replays as much. So please, stay off the walls and stay in drift. Oh, he got a score, so they did probably make that a deduction.
Why you jumping to conclusions? All right, got a 75. A 75 for Dean Carnage Carney.
Yeah, so there's multiple areas where Dean probably could have done a better job on that run, but overall he does get a score in the books.
All right, here is the M-Spec Performance S14.9. He's caught with the Vitor tires. Daniel Stuckey. Stuckey initiates. A little slow roll there. Now it's picking up the pace. Left foot brake. See that wheel come to a stop, and woo! Flirts with exiting the chat room into that 3rd outside zone. And now past the inside clip and navigates tightly to that last outside zone. Okay, let's see. Again, X factor, not so much on that first outside zone, but he came in hot into that power alley.
Yeah, so it looked like he was saving himself until he gets into the power alley in the inside area, but not a crazy flick for initiation, and it looks like he does have a low rate of angle and not all the way to the wall at most of the area, the outside zone. But after he enters the power alley and tries to fill the outside zone 2, has some space at outside zone 3, but after that it looks like he unleashes himself and finishes the track off strong. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. He looks like he gets close, kind of gets a little bit further, then gets close again. And I'm just talking about being a little picky on being how close you are on the wall and the bank, because it's very, very hard. But we do expect the drivers to be super close the whole time. And looks like his strong part of this run wasn't on the bank, but it was everything else after that.
All right, let's see. Inside. Robbie Machida Blade Nishida.
Is that like
got a
the
white
screen, or is it?
No,
it's the smoke
hanging.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the smoke, huh?
Dial it in. Turn up the. Like the iPhone, you need to like dial it up more.
Well, right here,
look at, got babies
pretty
in the
nice crowd out here. Yeah.
Youngest fan in the building right there.
Yeah. So, wonder how many of you guys will be back here tomorrow too.
I would hope all of them.
Yeah.
And bring your grandma too.
Yes.
Grandmas love drifting. You know that? Little known fact. 74 for Daniel Stuckey.
Yeah, so outside zone 1, I mean, it's a long zone.
Yep.
So that does, carry a lot of points probably within the judges. Like, all the judges don't have, a certain score to go off of, but he's got, they all have 90 points each, plus the X Factor.
This gentleman, this is home track. Travis Reeder, the Nicholas BMW. He got the win last year in Jersey. Would love to get it here at his home track.
Whoa.
And look at this. Yup, I think he knows his way around this. He knows his way around Evergreen Speedway. He's seen success here on his days coming up. And now he's got this hot rod. Got his family cheering him on. Look out for falling prices. The Nicholas GT Radial BMW.
Wow.
Ooh, and the crowd erupts. They know.
Yep.
They respect the Reeder. Reeder damn near killed her.
Everybody knows when you see something great, right? That was a pretty nice run by Reeder. The wall ride on the bank was pretty nice. Like you said, it's almost like he knows this track.
Shout out to my wife Stephanie. She's watching at home right now.
Oh, okay. So right here, it looks when you see these, when you see the front tire on the other side of this white dotted line, that means you're really, really close. So he's pretty close throughout the outside zone 1. Could have been a little bit closer on outside zone 3 at the wall, but everywhere else, a lot of throttle, good enough angle throughout the track, and finishes off pretty strong. It looks like he leaves outside zone 4 a little early as well, but I would have to say a pretty strong run by Travis Reeder.
Yep.
Does do a transition right at the spot where he has to. The rear end does come around at the outside zone 3, but he does have a little bit of space at the wall. He could have been a little bit closer at the wall, but I would have to say, the bank, he was, really riding the bank. So looking forward to seeing what he's going to get for this run.
He's comfortable, man, and it's very telling in how he drove that on that initiation. So Travis Reeder got Grandma and Grandpa cheering him on. He's got his fam. Backs it on in. So we'll lock in the, everybody has one run. This is the format. Everybody has one run. We'll lock in the top 24. The remaining drivers to fill, again, right now 31, but we will see. So here we go. Do we have a new #1 qualifier? Cannon not qualifying? Boom,
Yep.
Told you, 88.33. Travis Reeder.
Wow, he really bumped up the.
88.33.
I think the first, the #1 qualifier up to now was 82, and he moved up 6 more points.
Annihilated
So that's
that.
a lot of points, yeah.
That's awesome. I know Biddies is happy about that. I know he works on his car. Mr. Hartsock Motorsports. Hey, look at this. How we doing? My man's on an adventure trip, right? You got an adventure hat. You got water pack, dude. You're built for this.
He's loaded, yeah.
He is. I think it's margaritas in that bag, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on. What is X Factor? Heavy and controlled throttle usage, driving, big angle, consistent pace, showing the vehicle stability and balance. That's what we talk about, that initiation being settled, performing at a high level of driving. So X Factor, all those things equate. Anything else that kind of you touch on?
And you have to be able to finish the run clean with the X Factor, because we don't want to see a bad run, just exciting, but not a high score, So like
Choppy.
if you're in the 70s, it might be hard to get. It might be hard to get X Factor points.
Jonathan Castro, here we go, in his Toyota, the LTH Mobile 1 Toyota VR86. Yo, Castro, look at that. Talking about X Factor, ripping into the power alley, coming off of that big bank. Great looking car, look even better on the box. Love to show up. Dominican's finest, that's right. DR Zone, Jonathan Castro completes his run. Also, want to backtrack here. Next driver was intended to be Ken Gucci, but is he a scratch for the event, or just he's a scratch for the event?
I just heard so, because I think he does have some
Love
issues
Gooch,
that
man.
he's not going to be able to make it. So
hard-working cat, man. Between Toyota, has his own team, all those things. Speaking of Toyota,
and
this
this
is
Toyota buddy right here, riding the wall towards the beginning of the bank, kind of leaves it a little early. And there are some areas where he doesn't, get super close to the wall here outside zone 3, tight on the inside clip. And I think what's going to make the difference here on this track is, obviously the wall rides, but at the same time, how much angle do you have when you're near that? And the switchback going from, through the power alley from the outside zone 2 to the 3, we would like to see, or the judges would like to see, a high rate of angle to high rate of angle. Which is probably the hardest thing to do when you're, have this much grip and this much power in the cars. But also, it is a drifting competition, so we would like to see high rate of angle everywhere.
Come on. It's not Formula Drive straight.
Drifting, yes.
It's Formula Drift, baby.
Not Formula Drag Race.
Nope.
Yep.
No, we want to see it snap.
Yep.
Raka. Booyaka.
What is going on there?
Oh, we got kids wrestling. Keep your hands to yourself. I'll turn this car right around. I will turn this car right around. Kids, keep your hands to yourself.
His shoe came off.
See? I see you. Oh, his shoe exploded? How we doing? Got the lariat hat? Is that what's going on? That's a raising the roof? Pushing the roof. Finger guns. Okay. I don't know how she got past security with finger guns like that.
Yeah.
Jonathan Castro jumps up with an 80. That is an 8-0 for Mr. Castro. Castro always got a smile on his face. That's why I said Dominican's finest. He's got that hat on.
Yep.
So again, yeah, Ken Gucci working hard. Just, you know, a day oneer. He's the OG since 2004.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's...
And, you know, a couple years back, you know, he wasn't able to perform to what he was probably wanting to perform, but he came back all of a sudden and just won Irwindale, too.
That was emotional for him.
Yeah, so looking forward to seeing that again.
That could happen for him.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Fight back.
Yep.
Fight back. Get in there, dog. Right? You might get knocked down, but never knocked out, baby. Come on. All right. Speaking of rising the occasion, Kazuya Taguchi, ever since St. Louis last year, where he got his first win, Ichiban, he talked about it. He loved the course. Number one? No, what was the big thing at St. Louis? Did he get
knocked out?
Qualifier?
Yeah, but he got knocked out.
Got knocked out early.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, just ever since St. Louis last year, I say this, he's gained a lot of notoriety. Up Garage, ISR Performance, GT.
Oh, man.
Initiates the Jerry Yang Racing vehicle and unfortunately shuts her down. So, you know, he joined, Nick Novak, I should say, joined the Yang Racing team. Hopefully, you know, he didn't ride the wall, which you know,
it looked like
could
he
mitigate
got
damage.
Away. But I think it will be similar damage to what we saw with Forrest Wang earlier, too.
Back left is deflated. Don't know if that was because of the contact, or could that have caused him going into the wall?
Yeah, it's really hard to say. Or you know what? I think he went into the wall first, maybe. He did, I don't know, where he probably usually initiates. He was a little bit too close to the wall. Let's go ahead and see here. Closer look with this drone. It looked like he was super close to the wall already when he initiated, and as he was giving angle, the rear end got closer and the wall did eat him. But he was able to escape from the wall fairly early, so hopefully that's very minimal damage to the suspension, because they do have their second run, because you cannot qualify with, you know, an incomplete. You have to get some kind of score on the board, even if you're going to do the not so great 8.
Absolutely. Travis Reeder getting his flowers from the crowd up here. Reeder, thanks for joining us up here. We get it, you're a race car driver. That's why you wear a race suit.
Anybody else up here with a race suit?
Yeah, we got a few drivers up here. So, unfortunately, clean up here on aisle 1 for Kazuya Taguchi. We'll tow him. We'll get him off course here. The action continues. Just a few more drivers left, and again, we'll lock in the top 24. They're one and done. We won't see them till tomorrow. Also, with Ken Gucci being out, 30 cars.
30 cars, so
number
1
one
and 2.
and number 2 qualifier, pending if the other drivers that got incompletes will get scores. So again, fast pass from today into 16. So not only getting points, because there are points at stake, 5 for first, 4, 3, 2, so on and so forth. So every point counts, every turn, every battle counts here at Formula Drift. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Evergreen Speedway playing host to round 6 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship.
This is Torque Motorsport.
Driving too fast, I don't wanna wait. We driving the days, we stepping in late. Nothing but blind, I'm free on the tape. Let's be alive, but we gonna skate. Let's be alive, but we gonna
Holy
skate. You wanted to ride, you wanted to ride.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance. For 30 Formula Drift teams, our professional Tire Stacks crew will mount over 1,000 tires during a weekend to keep our drivers on track, competing at the highest level. TireStacks.com, the official tire service of Formula Drift.
You can count on having a team that has your back, an environment that supports you, and plenty of friends. You're gonna make a lot of friends here. And if you like to work hard and really just get what you put in, then Discount Tire is a perfect place for you. You should come join our team.
Formula Drift is brought to you by Toyota, let's go places. Royal Purple, the official engine oil of Formula Drift, the synthetic expert. Rockstar Energy, the official energy drink of Formula Drift. This is the road to the championship.
I've won the championship twice now. I think we can do it again.
Let's go, let's do this.
Your winner at round one. Look at Osmo. He's a magician. Here we go. Rain or shine, these guys are down for a good time. You can't count anybody out.
Everybody's really pushing the envelope. One mistake and that's it.
Oh my goodness.
What did I do wrong? I don't get it.
So it's all about attrition here in St. Louis. We're in the playoffs, man. We are fighting for it tooth and nail. And Osmo goes hard. Matt Field, the guy to beat.
We got 20 seconds to shine. We can't make any mistakes. If you do, you're out.
It's going to be coming down to Irwindale, kids.
Is Matt feeling the pressure? Absolutely.
The championship is on the line. Ryan Turk, he says, hold my Rockstar, homeboy, let me show you something. Matt Field is out. Huge repercussions here. Your winner, Frederick the Norwegian Hammer Osbo! What an amazing ending to a 2022 season. Look at that, the birds. That's a bird's eye view right there. That's a bird's eye view of bird's eye view. This is so meta right now. This is just like,
man, yeah, the birds are probably
Ospreys?
like, you want some? You know.
Yeah, you want some of this?
Yeah.
Yo, why you chirping, dog? You chirping?
But that would be kind of interesting to see the bird fight the
Where are
drone.
they at on the course?
Over there on the light pole to the right.
Oh, the big, massive one. Oh yeah, you can see all the paint at the base.
Yeah.
That's not paint.
Yeah.
Those aren't pillows. Yeah, as you go into the power alley, they're on that big, tall post. That's cool. All right, so Travis Reeder, this is home course. Can he hold on to that #1 qualifying position? Again, an 88.33 for Reeder, but a lot of talent still to run. We have just looking at 11 drivers left. We'll lock in the top 24, one and done, and then we will, again, rerun however many drivers are left. At this point, I believe it's going to be 6.
Yeah,
not 8. Because again, with Gucci being out and with only 31 drivers.
Yeah, and then we did see, you know, a few drivers have incompletes. So if there's more drivers that has incompletes,
they get dual incompletes.
Yeah,
they're scratched, more buy runs.
Yep.
RCP, Rome Charpentier, Garagistic, BMWs on the Vitor tires. from La Costa, California. That's in San Diego area. And here comes Rome. RCP, he was ripping earlier in practice. Let's see if he stays consistent. He talks about giving moderns hell. See if he can do it. Could be a little higher on that. Good consistency, like the angle, but definitely needs to be higher on the bank. Filling all that second outside zone. Transitions aggressively into the third. Driving with a feverish spirit and brings it on home. Puts a bow on it, but drops a bumper in doing so. Boom goes the bumper.
Something we talk about at the drivers meeting too. You know, we want to make sure that you finish off the track really strong and not giving up and taking out angle. Looks like there's something pouring out of his car, or is that maybe? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it looks like some fluid or gas or something
Yeah,
back
the right
there.
rear. But let's go ahead and check out his replay right here. Going into the bank, it looks very strong, but like you brought up earlier, he is fighting to stay higher on the bank, but he couldn't get closer to the outside zone 1 area, and he comes off the bank a little early, and since he did that, it kind of put him in a situation where he had a hard time trying to get closer to everything else afterwards, and he does a good job towards the end. But right here, it's close enough for a normal person, but obviously these guys are professionals. They have to be rear bumper. You got to ride the wall. So he wasn't able to do that here. So that's going to hurt his score a lot, because that's probably like 1/3 of the track, which is a big bank, and it's like a trickle effect. After if you don't fill the zone well on outside zone 1, that affects you going to the outside zone 2, then the transition, and the outside zone 3. So you have to be on the right line from the beginning, or you're going to be playing catch up the rest of the track.
Pat, I don't know what Pat's actual title is. What's your actual title? Race
control.
Race control. Yeah, Pat and I were talking about it. These drivers have it dialed. So we scrutinize because we have to, and we're kind of breaking it down as far as edutainment. We're educating, having some fun, but also we want to make sure that the fans know exactly. It's a 76.66, but just these drivers are again, we're splitting hairs, we're analyzing this, and obviously we love to give everybody a trophy, but you got to earn it, and you might not be happy with the score, but look at the scale here. Number 1 qualifier is an 88. So, you might be like, oh, I only got a 70. That's a C. That's still passing. Yeah. But an 88's a B, and you're still leading the pack. So,
but we're talking 100.
It's on a bell curve.
100 is very, very hard to get, but at the same time, the number 1 qualifier, if you think about it, is most likely the 100 that day. So we're just trying to put everybody, in their ranking so we can go into the tandem.
Is this the loudest car in FD? I think quite possibly. Yep. The Mr. Cool BMW, Jonathan Hurst, the pride of Paducah. You can see him accelerating. You see, we'll talk about those accel and decel lights when it comes into play, especially tomorrow. Into that second and third outside zone, the power alley. Listen to this thing firing off. And pow, come on. Just as I say that, it goes quiet. Jonathan Hurst.
Maybe because I have these headphones on, it feels like it's kind of quiet today.
Well, we're
quieter, or we're far away.
Yeah,
too.
we're far away. We're in the glass box of emotion. The fans are down there. Would you guys agree that's the loudest car of FD? Is that what I mean? No? Couple. My man, shirtless guy over here gave me thumbs up. shirtless bro. Oh, he gave me the horns.
Oh,
Got
okay.
it.
All right, so let's go ahead and check out.
I think he's on his way to a slap fight right now. I don't know where he's going. All right, take a look.
All right, so right here, initiating into the bank. Looks like a lot of throttle, a lot of left foot braking there. He's dragging the front right tire. You can see smoke coming out of it, but he does end up towards the end of the outside zone 1. He gives angle and gets close to the end of the outside zone 1. But it looks like he comes off of the bank a little in a weird way, or the positioning. I'll go ahead and explain that as we're watching this, but when he was coming off of the bank, it looked like his line was a little bit off, where he does have to yank on the e-brake a few times, where we talked about at the driver's meeting, where a little dip would be okay, but he looked like he had to drag it a little bit at the outside zone 2 area. It doesn't feel outside zone 3 as much as we want him to. So these are the areas where the judges will probably look into and going to get a score. Like you said, you know, there's 30 drivers now. So as long as you're in the top 24, you run once.
One and done.
But if you're not in the top 24, you have to do your second run and make sure you get a score there.
Yeah, and the incompletes we do have, you know, Mike Power, Robert Thorne, Forrest Wang, Kazuya Taguchi. So that right there.
Yeah, that's 5 incompletes that we have.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they need to be run. So maybe we even lock, because if you have an incomplete, correct me if I'm wrong, talking to Sage here, if we have an incomplete, you wouldn't be locked in. So it could be just 23
or
and
22 or 21.
Or 21, depending on how many scores we have. The remaining drivers will run. All right, their score 71.66. 71.66 for Jonathan Hurst.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the track conditions changing from how it was earlier today during the day, but it looked like maybe it might be nerves and stuff like that. It looks like a lot of the drivers were a little bit more exciting.
Real quick, I'm going to cut you off here because Dylan Hughes, unfortunately, 10 days ago, he's riding his motorcycle, broke his left middle finger. So his left middle finger, it might be looking like he's flicking you off, but you'll see it pointed out here. But he's driving with a metal rod, just holding his finger straight because he's in a lot of pain. But right now, he's putting the hurt on the track. Dylan Hughes, the Royal Purple. Again, this is his home track as well, him and Travis Reeder. So he's trying to go for the bragging rights at the bar right now with the broken finger, and brings it across in that last outside zone. He knows his course, and Dylan Hughes with the broken left finger. And again,
wow,
maybe he's metaphorically flicking off the track. He says, you know what, this is my track now. Look at me, hold my broken finger.
And,
wow.
You know, if you didn't say that, there was no way that any of us would have probably guessed that, you know, this man was driving with one less finger than everybody else. And
Take a look at it
being
again.
up. Yeah,
right.
So right here, I really like that initiation. He did go right. It was like quick to rate, very smooth. It was quick to rate, very smooth through the bank. A little bit of wavering there towards the end of the bank, but he does fill the outside zone 2. A little bit of space left on outside zone 3, but hugs the inside clip, almost going a little bit too in, but looks like he finishes off the track. Yeah, he gets really close to the last wall that we see right before the finish line. And as you see, the front right tire there, he's very close to the wall because that front right tire is pretty much on the dotted line or inside of it. Right there, you know what? Actually, the bumper is sticking out too. He might have left the outside zone 3 a little bit early, but he does feel it pretty good. So overall, you know, we saw Travis Reeder's run, and that was a pretty nice score and a very nice run. And he did do the same. And let's see if that's going to be better or if he's going to be able to beat Travis on his first place right now, currently.
Yep, 88.33. That's the #1 score. And again, this is their hometown track. The P&W cheering them on. What do you guys say? Any Dylan Hughes fans out there? Reeder with an 88.33. Diego Higa, his best performance so far, 82. Sorensen, 82. So again, with all those incompletes, the second run, those will be completed by those drivers. If you get a score, you're locked and loaded at this point, given all the incompletes.
Yeah, I mean,
where does the dozer land? What do you think? Do you think yay or nay? Thumbs up, thumbs down, middle finger up, middle finger down, broken finger up.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very close, but...
And here it is, K&N knockout qualifying, 87. 87. Reeder holds on to that #1 spot, an 87 by Dylan Hughes. 30. You see three X Factor points.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's like 1 point away, but currently second. So that's, I mean, that's hands down. That's good. That's
all
great.
right. A gentleman who has got #1 qualifier a couple times this year. He wants to get it again. Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla. Ryan Turk.
Another driver had flawless practice runs today.
Absolutely. Here we go. Ryan Turk, his hot hatchback initiates into that bank. Blazing the trail, gets up almost into the tire particulars. You don't want to get into the gumbo. Oh, he backs it in, that back bumper. But takes a lick and it keeps on ticking. He backs it in. That's just going to be a little body damage. Let's see if he can maintain the Nitto tires, go around in that last outside zone. Powers his way through. Oh, man.
I mean,
is that
down,
X factor or is that just oops factor? You know,
it could be an oops, but also hands down because that's how much these drivers are pushing it.
Right.
And when you see some of the drivers with the space, that's how close he was. That's how close Turk was because he got really close and he did tap the wall. So I'm pretty sure that the judges will be watching the replays to make sure that he's still at drift to see to make sure that he gets a score. And as we all witnessed right here, the front right tire being on the line most of the time and very close to the wall. It looked like he had counter steer, so he did waver a little bit because of the wall hit, but the rest of the area, it's almost perfect, I would have to say, on the line area because he's super close on the outside zones. Right there, finishes off the track, doesn't leave any space there.
Watch how, so two things. Watch, so he's got short bumper hang. So once he backs that bumper in, boom, it goes right to the Nitto tire.
Yep.
So him to hold on to that was really good. Watch how perpendicular he is. Look at that.
Right on the wall.
His angle on outside zone 3, pretty good.
And, you know, being able to do this with the line, on top of that, you know, being able to throw, you know, a good amount of angle throughout the track. Pretty nice run. But now it's really up to the judges to see how much points they would be deducting because of the wall tap and also the car wavering off of the track. But, you know, it is a big risk that he took, so maybe there may be some X Factor points. But we also do want to see the delivery of the X Factor that they do too. So it really depends on what the judges think of how big that mistake was.
Yep. And obviously his guys probably cursed him a little bit, like, bro, you know, that was really you fully turked yourself. You turked yourself. Any Turk fans out there?
She is. Oh.
Right. There we go. Dayton, do a backflip. Don't do a backflip. No, don't do a backflip. Don't break your finger. All right, so we are waiting. Amanda Sorensen joining us here, cheering on her brother. Amanda Sorensen, Pro Spec driver, Extreme E driver. Thanks for joining us out here. All right. So waiting for the score for Ryan Turk. Thanks for, again, skipping school or skipping, well, school's in session next week.
Yeah.
I know for my kids, they start next week. My homie doing the Dave Goulier, cut it out. He's doing, is that scissor fingers? Is that what's going on there? Okay, rock. Oh, shoot. You know? Paper, scissors, go.
Man, speaking of the weather, too, it's really nice.
It is Golden Girls, man. Blanche Devereaux. Yeah, a lot on the line here for these drivers. Ryan Turk, he's 100 points behind the leader, obviously Frederick Osbo, his Toyota and Rockstar teammate. So a lot at stake. There's the point standings.
Man, this is close.
It is, and it's going to come down to Irwindale. It always does. But you can see Turk there sitting at 8. Dylan Hughes, who just ran, you know, you can see how many. Oh, got him. Oh, dabbing on him. Oh, wow, we're going retro with the got him one. If I could, oh, look at this. Got him. Ryan Turk with an 80.33. So didn't really like the bumper tap.
Yeah, well, I mean, they took it. I mean, it was a mistake and it was an oops. But just imagine if that didn't happen.
Right.
I mean, that would have been probably in the 90s,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he had big, good drive. And here we are again, another 3-time champion here in the building. James the Machine Dean. Love to round out the 4 RTR Mustang victories.
All
the AutoZone Fun Haver Ford Mustang RTR. Trips in that left-hand drive vehicle. Looks pretty rock solid right now. James hop skips his jumps into the power alley in that 3rd outside zone. Big massive angle there on that inside clip. Fights back into that last outside zone. The Machine.
Yeah,
the crowd erupts here at Evergreen. Makes it look easy, man. Makes it look really good.
Yeah, and you know, watching James Dean drive anything, he makes everything look pretty easy, but you know, takes it to the next level. So let's see his replay here in this right-hand drive Mustang. And right there,
I think I said left-hand drive, my bad. Right-hand drive.
Yeah, right-hand drive, yeah. Then looks like he doesn't feel the beginning as well, but he does get closer and closer to the outside zone 1 area. And as you can see from the top right here, you have to say a good amount of angle throughout the track. Almost a 90-degree at the inside clip. Whipping the car around right here and finishes off very strong. So a lot of throttle and also very great car control. Looks like he starts a little lower on the bank and makes his way up and gets super close from mid-bank and stays there and fills the outside zone 2 and 3 right on the wall. Gets really close to the inside clip, and as he's doing this, you know, it's all at a high rate of angle. And like you said, he does make it look easy.
And the Dean family cheering him on from Ireland. I know Colette, she's messaging me right now. It's 2 a.m. in Ireland, and they're cheering him on. Family and all that. She always DMs me and gives me updates, so we'll see where he lands. 88.6 or 86.66. 86.66 gets that number 3 qualifying position, and that could, you know, depending on where, if he holds on to that, might have a bye run, depending on, again, so many different factors. So,
yeah, very nice run by James Dean.
Big drift fan right there, literally. See that? It's got a fan. All right, there we are. So, again, Reeder still out front, holding on to that spot. Just 6 drivers left to go.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 is about only 1 point away from each other.
My man's catching Pokemons on his phone right here. Sir, put your phone down. Pay attention.
Your feelings.
Yeah, I know.
The guy with your feelings.
Yeah. Chris the Force Forsberg, 3-time champion.
He likes this track too.
He likes. I think all the drivers love this track. Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about it. They just, you know, want to rise to the occasion. Here we go. We got a little telemetry going here. 80 miles per hour. That is obviously sideways. An awesome drink. All new Z. You can see the G-force there. The telemetry giving you some updates. So decel there into this power alley. I know they did a full rebuild on this car. Creating a lot of really cool content, giving an insight on what he's got going on. That last outside zone.
Yeah, so
great car placement.
Yeah. So overall, you know, just like everybody else, a lot of throttle. Maybe a little bit more space on the bank overall, but after he gets off of the bank, you know, going through the power alley, it looks like he was getting really deep in the outside zone too. Let's go ahead and check this out. Right here, there's a little bit of space in between him and the wall through the bank, but he's pretty stable through the bank. Looks like he was fighting to get to the outside, but he gets really deep in the outside zone 2 and fills outside zone 3 pretty well. Gets really close to the inside clip, and I like how he finishes off the track. He does a good job on the left outside zone. Checking this out from the drone chasing the car down. And as you can see, there is a gap, a little gap in between him and the wall there, but gets deep into the outside zone 2. Gets really close to the wall, beginning of the wall, outside zone 3. Right here, towards the end of the track, finishes off strong. And like we were talking about earlier, you know, all these drivers do like this track, and I think it's because there's a little of everything. You start to slow down towards the end of the track, but you know, the bank, you're pretty much full throttle. It really feels good to be in the car sideways with full throttle. A lot of smoke, just exciting to be here. So that's probably why a lot of these drivers, most of these drivers probably like this. This might be their favorite track.
We've seen some sensational crashes here. Seigo Yamamoto back in the day.
Oh, yeah, that's a long time ago,
that was a while. 82.66. 82.66 puts him into 4th position.
Yeah, so he's 0.66 away from Diego Higa and Brandon Sorensen, which is 6 and 7.
Yo, bro, we're on the screen. Yeah, what up, dog? Yup. Are you happy to be here, man? You got this the mirrored aviator glasses, arms crossed. Your body language speaks volume. Did he drag you here, or did you want to come, ma'am? You and the glass. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, you're talking. Yeah. No, I'm talking to you. Don't talk to him. I asked you, did you want to come here? He dragged you here? No, you wanted to come.
You wanted to come here.
Okay,
great.
Well, that's good.
Well, now we got Travis
Her body
Reeder
language
first.
is arms crossed. Yeah. Sorry, real quick.
Oh,
Simon Olsen, this guy's been making a lot of noise, man. Here he is. He's sitting top 5 right now. The debut of him and this car, the combination seems to be working. Wow. Simon Olsen, look at that, just getting intimate with the wall. He says, hey, how you doing? You standing out of the wall? And now in that power alley, rips into the 2nd outside zone, the 3rd outside zone. Simon Olsen is just big drift energy right now.
Wow.
The field suspension.
Man, they got something.
S-chassis, yo!
They got something going on right in this car and this
They got the special sauce, dude.
Man, because watching the beginning of the bank, I thought that he was going to get sucked into the wall. So we'll go ahead and check out the replay. very, very exciting to see because he threw the car in like he was gonna go into the wall, but he didn't. He stayed on it. Look at how close he is to the wall throughout the whole bank. Kind of starts to leave the wall a little bit. The last half on the bank, but puts the car where it's supposed to be at. And obviously there is a little bit of space between him at the outside zone 3 wall, but very close to the wall at the last outside zone. A lot of angle thrown at the inside clip as well. When I saw this part of the run on the bank, it really got me. I thought he was going to go into the wall. He didn't. He saved it, and he stayed on it, and it didn't waver. But I have to say, you know, that was very exciting to see. If he could have stayed high on the wall the rest of the time as well, that would have been great. But like you said, you know, they know something. Odie and his team know something because this year, this gentleman does not look the same.
Right, and keep in mind Ben Hobson. I mean, look at his success. He got that victory in St. Louis.
Is he's prospect currently leading prospect too?
I believe so. Don't
I think
quote
so.
me
Yeah.
on that. I'm gonna
or
look
somewhere up there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, he's in the hunt. Oh, do we have a new leader? Taking on Travis Reeder. Do you think? What do you guys think? Simon Olsen taking that #1 spot?
Yeah, so what do you guys
who's saying
think?
yeah? Who's saying no? Here we go. And boom, 89.33. 89, and he takes it with a vengeance. 89.33. Simon Olsen assumes the #1 spot. X Factor. Look at that. 5.35.
Yeah,
averaging that out. Yo.
89, then 88, then 87, then 86 is the top 4 we have right here. Yeah, you know, when you see the excitement, you know, and you feel it.
Yeah.
And I kind of had a feeling that he was going to be up here within the top 3, and he is first right now.
And you are correct. Ben Hobson does lead Pro Spec, the championship. Haley behind him, and that is 65 points behind him with only 1 stop left. Chelsea Denofa, Penzo Mustang RTR. He got the victory earlier this year. Can he do it again in Orlando? Yo, look at the angle, the aggressiveness. Turning it to 11th.
Wow.
Wild in the streets into that 3rd outside zone. Oof. Moves it. Nice. In that last outside zone. Wow. Yo, that initiation, that big bank, that might be the best one. Sage is saying that's the best one. He's just going on a limb. Best big bank, outside zone 1.
That was a lot of angle, and throughout the track, I would have to say he probably has the highest rate of angle and average from the beginning to the end. But like you said, the big bank was pretty crazy. Seeing it in this view, a lot of angle, a lot of throttle, and even when he was about to leave the bank, it looked like he poured on more angle towards the end, and he saves it here, doesn't go off track, fills outside zone 2. The only bad part about this run, and I'm going to be picky, is that he didn't transition early enough, because he started to transition at the beginning of the outside zone 3, and that's the area where the judges will be watching. But everything else looks pretty much clear and exciting, and I'm pretty sure you guys witnessed this as well. So I'm excited to see what he's going to get for the score. Right there, a little bit earlier, a little bit deeper in outside zone 3, but the rest of the time, boom, a lot of angle at the inside clip, and boom, a lot of angle. And it looked like he was almost left tire off at the outside zone 4 area, but I think he was on the line or very, very
what do you think,
close.
Scrutinizer, you're a judge. You know what you're looking at.
Man,
80s, 70s? 90s?
No way it's going to be 70s. It's going to be high 80s for sure.
Okay.
Or high 80s, mid to high 80s, in my opinion.
I agree with that. No, I don't think 90. Ryan's asking a question, and how much weight are we putting on outside zone 3? So that's, again, as you exit that power alley.
Well, I would have to say that's going to be, the power alley area might be 1/3 of the track. The bank could be 1/3 of the track, and the last part, inside clip to the last outside zone, could be 1/3 of the track as well. So really, really depending on how they see it and how severe it is.
82. So an 82. Outside zone 3. And he dropped 2 tires.
Okay,
He dropped 2 tires. Okay. You boo because you care. Let's get elaboration here.
But it is something.
We see people applauding.
Hey, but it was very exciting, and that's why he's the exciting driver, and we all know him from that. But, you know, like we were talking about the outside zone 3, if he was able to transition a little bit more earlier, that would have boosted the score up so much more. And also, he did dip tires off at the end of the track right before the outside.
So there's two-thirds of the track. Just to your point, if the bank is 1/3, great. You got 30 points, but you got you got obviously 70 more points left on the track. So, boom. Here we go. This is Odi Bakshi. So the boss man, can he take down his own teammate Simon Olsen? They got 1 and 3 at our last round of competition in St. Louis. Odi Bakshi's wants a championship, and he's got to show up here in Seattle in order to do it. Happy birthday, by the way. 40 years old. Odi/Odi Bakshi is what I was calling him. Hit that last outside zone, dials it in. Hammers down. I mean, you got to think, Simon Olsen just put down a heater of a run. He's going to give him some insight, right? As he puts down a near 90 run.
Is he going to beat Simon's score? But that was very close because, you know, I saw one point at the end of the bank, his rear just touched the wall as he was coming off the bank. So he was really, really close. Looking at Odi, nice initiation, and he stays pretty much on the top of the bank all the way through. And slight wavering here and there, but right there, right at the end of the bank wall ride, he does tap it. Doesn't affect the car. A great amount of angle going through the inside clip and nice switchback going to the last outside zone. Hey, this could be very close to what Simon did because, I mean, this must be like a clone car. They might be driving the same car, just changing the roof color or something, but a very nice job. And Odi is really, really tight on the line here, and that's something that we do want to look at. A lot of the drivers, they leave a little bit of points on the table because they are not as deep on some of the zones, but it looks like Odi did a good job overall as well.
Well, again, he's got a lot to celebrate between the most recent win in St. Louis, very emotional for him. It's his birthday today. His wife and kids are here. The autograph signing line, it was really cool for the autograph signing that we had before coming into competition. All the drivers saying him happy birthday.
Wow.
His wife gave cake to all the fans that lined up. He had a big card that everybody signed.
I want cake.
Bro, I don't know, where were you?
Doing judgy stuff, I
Judgy
guess.
stuff. Yeah. And a 90,
there you go.
Odi Bakshi assumes the #1 spot and barely gets in, but the only one in the 90s. Yo.
So he's 0.67 points away from Simon. He's like, no, not yet. Not yet. I got this. Yep.
You.
So we got a 90, 89, 88, 87,
What's up?
86, all the way down.
Can't
to
read my homie's shirt. I don't know what that says. Early at night? Early at night?
Early something night, yeah.
I go to bed early? You guys snooze, bro. 90, 89, 88, 87. So we're getting up there.
Yeah, and Odi is sitting. He was third, or he's third.
Currently
in the
third
rank,
in championship points, and again, only 43 points separate him. Right now, we are looking at Matt, the beast from the Bay Field. He had the lead. He got the win in Long Beach. Freddie took it back after a second place in St. Louis, but the beast from the Bay. Here we go. The Borla exhaust, Lean Customs, GT Radial, Drift Cave, Heat Wave. You feel that? Ooh. You smell what the field is cooking? Locked and loaded. Look at the white Ford stars are standing out, and it's showing you like he's making no corrections. That was right there on the course edge, filling that third outside zone. Dialing in. We're looking at the telemetry there, keeping that wheel speed up. The miles per hour goes down. I mean, that's challenging. I mean, that is, I say, meaning challenging. He is challenging that #1 spot. That was a great run by Matt Field.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, it was a great run. The proximity to the wall was great overall. Reminds me of what we just saw with Odi, right there, super close. I don't know, maybe it might be a little bit closer in some areas, but he does kind of start to leave a little bit, gets back out to the outside zone 1, outside zone 2, and 3. Does a good job, and the only difference that I see, just from what I see, is he didn't have as much angle at the inside clip like some of these other drivers, but the rest of the areas, you know, very tight on the bank, very clean. Like, look at this. Like the first dotted line on the front right tire, pretty much he doesn't get any lower than that, so he's pretty much maxing out his spot. Gets out of it a little bit, but gets right back into formation, fills outside zone 2, does a good job at outside zone 3. And just this area where I just brought up, just being picky, obviously, but he does do a good job on the inside clip. The last outside zone, that was a very, very high-leveled, high-skilled, clean run.
Got Ripper and the boys. Graham, I could see you. They're cheering them on. They want at least a top 2 spot. That way they're guaranteed to go into the 16 tomorrow.
Yeah,
less work
that's
for you.
big.
You're chilling. I see you. I'll find you. One more driver left, Frederick Osbo. Hey, I also want to send a shout out. We lost a good friend of our drift family.
Yeah.
Tyler Clayton, owner of Coro Works. He lost on Monday a long time battle with cancer. 91.66 for Matt Field. 91.66 for Matt Field. Gets that #1 spot.
Oh, I didn't know they were on top
yeah,
of the
they're on top of the rig.
But
so high fives for the Beast from the Bay. Great job there. So yeah, and
Yeah.
I do want to go back
Yeah.
about Tyler, but please go ahead, elaborate. Look at
no,
X-Factor 5
just
across the board.
going down the score. I think that was a well-deserved run by Matt. But as you're saying,
Yeah, Tyler, our heart goes out to his wife Lauren and the whole Coro Works family, Greg and everybody there in Georgia. Tyler lost his battle with cancer this Monday of this week. I know they're going to actually stream his ceremony tomorrow, honoring him. So shout out to Coro Works, Tyler, Lauren, and the whole Coro Works family. Tyler, we celebrate you. I know Super Street wrote some stuff up about him. So Tyler, you're in our thoughts, and again, legends never die, man. So thank you for all Coro Works does in the drifting world. They support a lot of drivers from Pro Spec and Pro. So just want to say that before we get to our final driver. So coming into this round, he has the points lead. He is your defending and back-to-back champion. He's 3-time champion, and that is Frederick, the Norwegian Hammer Osbo. A small point differentiation from first to second. Again, it's been a bit of an arm wrestling match between Frederick Osbo and Matt Field as he assumed the points lead after St. Louis and getting second place. The gold nose of that Rockstar Energy Toyota GR Supra. The 4 stars go round, wrapped in Nitto tire. Little yank of that handbrake. Can he knock down Matt Field? Again, bragging rights and also getting the fast pass from qualifying into 16, given the amount of drivers that we have here and who have either failed to make it or having issues. But Frederick Osbo completes his qualifying run here in Seattle. That's definitely going to be one and done. He's going to be up there, but where he lands, will he knock down that 91.66 of Matt Field? Or is he going to assume the position and get down there?
Yeah, so once again, it looks like we're watching another run that we just saw earlier. That was Matt Field's run, but this is Frederick Osbo. He does waver a little bit, has to get back into it towards the end of the bank, but does a great job on filling the zones. And I mean, I'm out of words how to explain these because the past couple runs we had was, super exciting to see, and also filling the zones. Now, what I would like to bring up is, as one of the judges, I hope you can understand like how these guys get these scores, because as you see these the drivers get higher and higher scores, you can see that there's less and less mistakes about us talking about being far from the zones or being shallow on the angle and so forth, being wavering and stuff like that. Like some of these drivers that get these higher scores, when you watch the run, it's very smooth. It's exciting. It makes you feel like, oh, they're going to go into the wall, or they're, something's going to happen. But they don't. They dig themselves out of it and stay smooth on the track. So obviously, this is probably going to be another one of those runs.
Yep.
And I don't know. All 3 judges has pretty much a total of 100 points, and it's going to be an average of the 3. So I really doubt that they're mathematically inclined on trying to calculate to put them where they want to. That just doesn't happen.
There's just no way. The variables.
It's what they see, and they give them the score, and it's an average of the 3 judges, and that's the score the drivers get. So let's see where this one is going to place the current championship leader.
Yep. Frederick Osbo backs it in, and again, 91.66, and we'll see where he lands, and scores are coming in. Again, number 1 and number 2 qualifier, they have bye runs. It could grow to a number 3 spot, but Frederick Osbo, 87.3. Matt Field is your K&N number 1 qualifier. Congratulations to him, as again, Matt Field, your #1 K&N qualifier.
Yeah.
Super stoked for him. Lean Customs, Heatwave Visual, of course, Borla Exhaust, Drift Cave. He's supported by Momo.
Yeah. So what I usually tell the drivers is Matt Field got a 91.66 and he took the lead here for the qualify. So if you guys could just imagine that Matt Field just put down the 100-point run.
Right.
He's the 100-point because he's #1, and everybody under that, 1 point away or so
bell curve
is underneath. Exactly. So he set the pace. He's up there. He did qualify first right here. And just think of that being the best qualifying run for today and so on. So
yeah, so it looks like we do have 24 scores. Or no. Yeah,
Yes,
so we have 24 scores. And then, so we'll lock in the 24. The remaining drivers.
Oh, actually, we have 31 drivers.
Oh, so, okay, good. Yeah,
so Matt gets a bye, but Odie doesn't.
But no, okay. No, he's not on there.
He's not even on this list. So.
Yeah, so 31 drivers. So Matt
gets a bye.
Matt gets a bye run. Yep. #2 qualifier, maybe, because right now,
we'll see.
So
There's
Alec
5
Robbins,
incompletes.
Jonathan Hurst, Kazuya Taguchi. So first of all, Robbins and Hurst have a score, so they'll be in the show. The ones that are nervous right now: Kazuya Taguchi, Forrest Wang, Robert Thorne, Jeff Jones, and Mike Power.
Because they have an incomplete for their
Because
first
they have incompletes on their first run. So if they do not get an incomplete, or if they get an incomplete, then shoot, we might have a few bye runs.
Yeah, because you do have to have a score to qualify, so there's no free pass here.
Absolutely. So Matt Field, your #1 qualifier. Congratulations to him. We'll rerun the 7 drivers. And so there it is. So now we see. Oh no, why does it say? So it must have. So it's saying 30 drivers,
there might be,
or we have 31. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the bracket presented by GoPro. So Matt Field. So you can see how they're dropping in there. Taylor Hull versus RCP. Beecham versus Carney. Oh, man, look at that. Ryan Turk versus Vaughn Gittin Jr. So Vaughn winning in Atlanta. Ryan Turk feeling like he's due. Denofa versus Jaeger. Higa versus Stuckey. Wow. So that's how they're shaping up. When we come back, we will see the remaining drivers run to find out where they land, if they land, if they haven't. Another incomplete. There's a few drivers that might have dual incompletes. We'll see. Thanks so much for joining us out here. We'll be right back. The throwdown, the battle in Seattle, round 6 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. A few more runs. We'll get you home by dinner time.
First race yesterday.
You're on the team, kid. It's orientation day.
Hey, new guy. Let's get you up to speed.
Lunchtime.
Your workspace is ready.
Looks like you got a corner office.
Be part of something greater. Toyota. Let's go places.
Welcome to the streets of Long Beach. Look at that. It is a beautiful day here in Southern California. K&N, the official performance air filter of Formula Drift.
NGK makes ignition coils. Why? Because we prefer a running partner that can keep pace. We know ignition, and since our spark plugs don't run alone, we put some of our energy and expertise into making better coils. NGK ignition coils are engineered to OE durability and performance. And because we race to win, we improve the design, testing, and validation of our coils for better performance. NGK spark plugs and coils, better together.
This is Torque Motorsport.
Driving too fast, I don't wanna wait. We driving the days, we stepping in late. Nothing but bond and feel the tape. Let's be alive, but we gonna skate. Let's be alive, but we gonna
Holy
skate. You wanted to ride, you wanted to ride.
Rockstar energy gets me energized so I can go out and send it. Hustle on.
What's up, everybody? I'm Chelsea Denofa, and we're here in the RTR hauler getting cars prepped for today's battles. So the X Factor score in Formula Drift, I think is really cool. I think it rewards the extra bit that you can go to make style and take chances out there to get a higher score. I think in previous years you could go out, take chances, and maybe not nail it perfect, but overall the run had way more excitement, way more angle, way more style, way more aggression. But the score, they couldn't give you any more than someone who hit all the marks right, drove with decent angle, put the car where it was supposed to. But now, you can do that and still get an additional 10 points. My last round in Orlando, I was able to get like 9.3 of the 10 points. So it was like almost the max score. And my run wasn't amazing. I was everywhere I needed to be, but it wasn't perfect. But I had tons of angle, tons of style, and it put me in second place qualifying, which I feel like previously it might have been 5th or 6th, and those extra points pushed me up a little bit. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for following me on the Throttle app, and I'll see you guys later.
Well, here we are. So we are, again, locking in the top 24. Locking in the top 24, and the remaining drivers will run. We are hearing that, unfortunately, Jeff Jones will not be able to pull the line in his Evil AutoWorks Nissan 370Z. So unfortunately for Jeff Jones, but that will equate to 30 vehicles. Again, number 1 and number 2 qualifier will get the bye runs. Again, this is unofficial till everything is said and done. But of course, Matt Fields, he's stoked. And then again, taking a look. Oh, okay. All right, so taking a look. So we'll see. So Mike Power, Jones, he is out. Thorne, Wang, Taguchi, Hurst, and Robbins.
So yeah, like you said, Odie's gonna get a bye most likely because of the Jones situation, like you said. But let's see now, you know, these drivers, I know 2 of the drivers just has to put down a solid score, but the rest of the drivers has to get a score to make it into the qualify. So 4 of the drivers have to be careful, but also probably want to be you know, closer to 25 or 26th place.
All right, so Mike Power pulling up to that Pedal Commander burnout box. Cannon knockout qualifying. So also after this, my man Ryan Sage over here, president and co-founder of Formula Drift, will have some words with our K&N number 1 qualifier, and that is Matt Field. He's gonna talk with him down on the track. Get inside the Beast of the Bay's head and see where his head's at. Got to be a big confidence booster from him. Like I said, a bit of an arm wrestling match between Matt Field and Frederick Osbo, going back and forth on the lead.
I mean, they have, you know, history from the Long Beach, the Hid, and probably good, very, very good rivals. Both driving, you know, a big coupe.
Yep.
Both have a lot on the line, you know. Obviously, Matt's probably hungry for a championship. Yeah. This is round 6.
Yep.
Yeah, so we got 2 more rounds, but you know what? We're getting closer to Irwindale, so all these drivers want to make sure that they get whatever highest score is possible and, you know, make it all the way to the top, get their score in, get more points for the championship, and every point is going to count from now on for these drivers. So,
absolutely.
Like you said, Matt, you know, being able to qualify first here today is probably a confidence booster. There you go. It's Mike Powers in the burnout box here.
Yeah, so Jonathan Hurst will be the last one to roll. The only reason they're in that order is because of position, but Hurst will be the last driver. All right, right now, Mike Power, Type S, S15, gets a score. He's in the show.
Robbins.
No,
it'll last.
It
was flipped.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me correct you correcting something.
Yeah, exactly.
And correct me.
Here we go, Mike Power, our first, again, driver on their second run in knockout qualifying. And he is a driver that is sitting on an incomplete. He needs to score, otherwise, guess what? Who qualifies number 3 will get a bye run. Type S, Power Racing, S15 initiates into the bank. A lot of pressure here. Just keep it together, keep it where the rubber meets the road, keep it sideways. See the show, throws a little bit more angle at it. Almost comes out of drift there a little bit, but does maintain it. And the inside clip. And that final outside zone of Mike Power.
Man.
Power, myself, and Larry Chen will be at the Type S booth. He was flirting with disaster there.
Yeah, that was
coming off the bank.
really risky.
What if the car's not 100 or something, man? Yeah, it's such a bummer.
But it looked like he was still had counter steer, so he's in drift motion. Let's go ahead and check out the replay right there. Flicks the car. Kind of seems like he's taking a little safe on the wall. He does have some distance compared to some of the drivers that we saw earlier in the qualify. Then right there, coming off of the bank, it looks like it's a major correction, and really depends on how the judges see that. The rest of the track does great at the last outside zone. Let's go ahead and check it out from a different angle here. And a good marker from this angle, like I said, you know, the front right tire being on that line all the way on the left, and right there, ooh, going into the outside zone 2. Not sure what happened to him or the car or the situation. He does miss a sizable amount of outside zone 3 as well, but the only thing he has to do is put in or get a score in, and let's see if the judges will be giving him a score.
All right, Mike Power awaits. Only a few drivers, 7 total, or now 6 because of Jeff Jones being out. Here you are, check you out. Start up young, got the fun haver. They're fun havers. Yeah. Heading over there. Yeah, what's up, dude? Yeah, buddy. You. Starting them young. Thanks for joining us, young bucks. All right, the wind clearing out the smoke. Nice, beautiful afternoon. Going in the evening here. All right, where does Mike Power? He gets a score. Yes, he does. 76. So a good score, but he can't go any higher than 25th. Yes. So again, so we'll have 30 drivers total. Next up, Robert Thorne, who won the Pro Spec Championship last year, decided to make the jump from Pro Spec to Pro. All right, here comes Robert Thorne, the ASM BMW. Initiates, very good angle from him. Yo, getting really tight to that wall. He is blazing right now. Big angle. Oh, no. Definitely need to take a look at this. So this is, again, he's sitting on an incomplete. Robbie, this could be really unfortunate turn of events for the ASM Momo BMW.
Yeah, so what we saw with Mike Power as well, coming off the bank, the mistake he made, I mean, that could have been critical, but the judges did give him a score. Now we're going to look at this where Robert Thorne, coming off of the bank, you know, being 3 tires off isn't incomplete. And he did not risk, he put all the risk even on the wall. He just got super close. Ooh, I had to like take a deep breath. That was, I don't know if that was on the line or off the line, and that's something that the judges will be determining if that's going to be too close or is it good enough. I'm not sure, but the rest of the run, he does get really close on the wall at the outside zone 1. Then after he was leaving the bank, that was where you saw before the outside zone 2, he does go a little too deep, and he does, I know he dipped 2 tires for sure. Now, if that 3rd tire was off or not, that looked pretty close, and we're going to have to see.
And the reason so obviously the back 1, 2, 1, 2.
Like is that on the line or what? Yeah.
To ride the line.
Was that 3 or 2
it was like 2
or
and a half.
2.6?
So technically wasn't 3, it was like 2.5.
Yeah, that might, I mean, he was on the line.
I mean, and watch him, like, it looks like he turns
right here,
it to, like, keep it in. Like,
he's like, oh,
okay, 2,
oh, snap. Oh,
what do you guys think?
there.
What do you guys think? Was that off? I think he's still on, man. I think that's 2.5. I think that's 2.5. He rode that line. He overcooked it, but here's why 3 off is an incomplete. It's unchaseable.
Exactly.
You know, and that's the only reason we're not like, oh, is it 2? It's basically, is that chaseable? I still think that's chaseable, as well as, again, we just make it definitive. 3 tires off, unchaseable. But I think it's clean. There we go. Boom.
Okay, you got to score. See, don't do that for the judges, because don't put the judges in that situation. We don't like that.
Right, exactly, yeah. And he's talking about the drivers, right?
Yeah, for the drivers, yeah.
Drivers, no, give me your hand.
Don't do
Slap
that.
It. Don't do that. Don't do that.
But he got a 76.66, so pretty much he's in.
Alec Robbins, he's does he have an incomplete? No, he has a score.
73, yep.
So he has a score. So again, so Robbins is up. He has a 73. So again, Jones will not be running. Don't know what Forrest Wang's status is, but Hurst.
That's right. Oh, I don't even know why I forgot about that.
Here we go, Alec Robbins. Alec Robbins at 10 to tire, non-stop tuning, 350Z. Comes into the bank. Oh boy, a little squirrely Dan here. Comes into the power rally, fires off, fills that 2nd outside zone into the 3rd outside zone. Again, he does have a score, so he's in the show automatically, but he'd like to get 25th. Yeah, so again, the highest spot.
Higher spot. Looking at this run, it kind of reminds me a little to his other run as well. That was 73 points, because there was a couple of things that he did, which the judges probably point out as well on the score. But, you know, obviously probably the most obvious one is not as close as some of the drivers on the outside zone 1, which is the bank. A little bit of wavering here and there. Outside zone 2. Outside zone 3. I'd like to see this on from a different angle, but I'm not going to say this is probably the most exciting run that we've seen, but he already had a 73.
Yep.
And somehow we would like to see him a little bit higher on the bank. And you can't see it on this angle, but I think there was a pretty sizable e-brake jerk going to the outside zone 2, where we also talked about at the drivers meeting, where we want to see it very minimal and not as obvious, because, you know, e-brakes and left foot brakes and everything, if you do it, it's okay. You just can't do it obviously. If you do it obviously, it's almost like an adjustment, and we want to see the least amount of adjustments from these drivers.
And there it is, 77.3, so he does better his first score. So good job to him, 77.3, puts him in that 25th position. How we doing? Don't forget the tire. You left the tire behind you. Is that your tire? Ma'am, you can't park there.
She's like, that's not mine.
How we doing? Like the hair, homeboy. Gonna act like it's not her tire now.
I was like, oh, I don't know what tire.
All right, so Forrest Wang sits on that incomplete.
Yeah, because he went into the wall.
Yep. Yeah. So how healthy is the car? What's going on with it? What's going on? We haven't seen him for a couple rounds. Now he comes. We haven't seen him in a couple years. Then comes back, and now here he is again sitting on this incomplete. I know he's got a lot of fans. He has a ravenous fan base. Again, the Get Nuts Laboratory. Oh no! Taps it, comes back into it, backs it in. Holy cow! He is just all over the place. That Yellow Speed Racing S15 overcooks it into that power alley, into that third outside zone, dials it in. We're gonna have to back that up. That gets into, is that an incomplete? He tapped the wall, kind of saves the car.
He saves the car, but was he in full drifting motion or not? Don't know. We're going to have to see that one more time here. And this is something that the judges will have to determine. And looked like he saved it and did have some kind of counter steer there. Just watching it from this view on his front right tire. But that does, let's say if he does get a score for that run, it is going to be a pretty sizable, talking about, being 1/3 or so on the bank being the score. That could be, a sizable mistake by Forrest Wang. Yeah, it looked like it was really close, but it looked like he was able to save the angle and the counter steer in the car. Did hit the wall twice, and this kind of shows where the commitment, even though he's sitting on an incomplete, even though he went into the wall earlier on his first run, he still came out and still tapped the wall and didn't want to come out half, I don't know, like
uncommitted.
Yeah, he had the full commitment there.
Yep.
He did risk it. So hands down to that for Forrest Wang. But looking at the way he did that, I'm not going to say that was going to be any of his cleaner runs.
Yeah. Don't know. Again, what's going on there? Definitely not Forrest Wang style. Got our fans up on the fence. Right there on that last outside zone. All right, let's score it. What do we got? 64. So not a great score, but better than his first one, which this puts him in the show. Just get in the show.
These drivers have been flirting with danger here because the past 3 runs that we saw were very, very risky, almost incomplete, but they barely made it through. So they have scores.
All right, so, well, right now,
yeah, I think Simon Olsen is going to be going against the lowest qualifier because of the 2 bye runs that we have for the number 1 and number 2 qualifiers. But right now, we are waiting for the next driver.
Yeah, which I believe was to be Kazuya Taguchi, but he called a comp timeout.
Yep.
Wow. That's huge. I mean, Kazuya,
he also went into the wall, and I'm pretty sure the team is probably scrambling right now to get the car back.
Oh, they're doing his rack.
Par.
They're doing his steering rack.
Ooh,
that's a lot.
You got to bleed it after you're done.
And, dude,
and the rack, you don't want to mess with it because if you have a power steering issue, and if you're
throws up everything, all your geometry, all your
that could write off the car too. So that's very, very dangerous.
Kazuya Taguchi again calling his competition timeout, his NGK competition timeout, being utilized here in qualifying. And again, Kazuya, trying to take a look, coming into this round of competition, sits in 12th. So we'll revisit that. But right now, it's Jonathan Hurst, who had a bit of bad luck. But right now, he's keeping it cool. Keeping it Mr. Cool. Right? Mr. Cool BMW, Jonathan Hurst, Pride of Paducah, initiates. And he's going for it, man. These guys are like, I don't know if they, sometimes when you dial it back, though, you're going to make simple mistakes because, they've been driving at full pace the whole time, the whole weekend. So here we go, Jonathan Hurst. Looks like, there we go, we got a score.
And these guys are here to put on a show because that takes a lot to be that risky on the bank after you're, sitting on an incomplete and risking yourself to. Or actually, I'm sorry, Jonathan Hurst has the score already, so this is the second run. He has to better that score to get higher in the qualifying. with a few things. He did get close to some areas on the outside zone 1, but he did also get a little, kind of walked away from some of the walls of the bank as well. Overall, very exciting driver, and finishes off the track. Let's go ahead and check it out from this view. Gets pretty close to the wall, gets really close at the half mark of the bank. Kind of starts to fall off a little early than Phil's outside zone 2. And I think he has a little bit more space than outside zone 3, but a good amount of angle going through the inside cliff area and finishing off very strong. Let's see if that's going to better his score and if that's going to beat any of these currently 6 drivers that are waiting for their scores.
Yeah, 6 drivers, and again, unfortunately, Jeff Jones knocked out the Evil Auto Works Nissan Z. Piston said peace out, and that's going to be the end of Jeff Jones' weekend, unfortunately. Hard-working dude, always has a good time. But right now, Kazuya Taguchi, I mean, that'll be a score for Jonathan Hurst, but right now, we have 30 drivers. So number 1 and number 2 qualifying get buys. And that's Odie sits in second, Matt Field sits in first. Boom, there you go, 79. So as far as the bottom drivers, Jonathan Hurst is top of the heap, so he's 25th. But right now, Kazuya Taguchi, the clock is ticking for him. Yeah. And I say all this about, buys for qualifying position 1 and 2, but if Kazuya doesn't make it to the line, and again, we're talking about how critical that rack is, number 3 qualifier gets a buy run. So right now we have 30 drivers, potentially only 29 if Kazuya Taguchi cannot pull up to the line with his car able to roll. That would mean
Simon Olsen would be getting a buy as well. But everybody with their, fingers crossed to see, and then that's the worst way to go out when you have issues on the vehicle and you can't put down a run. At least give these drivers a chance to be able to get on the track and show you guys what you guys came to see. It's just, pure drifting.
So here we are seeing Jonathan Hurst, Robbins Thorne, Power Wang. They are in it. Taguchi is up next, but he's sitting on incomplete. If he does not pull up to the line,
hey guys, maybe you guys should start cheering for them so they could
there we are. We're
hear
in the pits.
you. Oh, they're pulling.
Oh, he's pulling out. Yo!
Woo, we see clapping, so I'm pretty sure they made it. So all he has to do is put down a run to get a score, then he's in. So good hustle by the team.
Jerry Yang Racing.
Great job. They fixed the vehicle, fixed the issues within the competition timeout.
Hopefully, you know what I mean? Like it's rolling. It's rolling, and again, he went to the wall earlier, working on the rack, seeing what's going on. As they sit now, like literally right now,
that's the bracket.
Could change. So again, this is just if Kazuya Taguchi isn't
he's not in this yet.
Yeah, he's not in this matrix. But we do know Field, Odie, buy run, fast pass to the 16.
There's going to be some interesting top 32s tomorrow, and I am glad I am not judging tomorrow. I'm the steward because it's going to be hard-fought battles, and it's going to be probably very close. So,
and you can see Matt Field was down there. Right on the start line and the grid because he's going to go wrap out with Ryan Sage after this run of Kazuya Taguchi. He's our number 1 K&N number 1 qualifier.
And it's crazy because Matt Field right now, he's currently second, and he's been on the podium multiple times. And I remember actually talking to Matt over there at the start line when he first made, back then it was top 16. And that was like the first event here that he made top 16 and qualified when he joined the Pro Series. So brings back memories, but now he's one of the top dogs leading the series, and it's pretty cool to see that.
Here we go. Kazuya Taguchi sits 12th in points coming to this round of competition. Up Garage ISR Performance GT Radial.
So where are you Taguchi fans at?
Yeah, I see.
I can't do it as good as you. Where are you Jared Deanda fans at?
No. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate that. Here we go.
I don't hype it as good as you do, so they're not even listening. So
here we go. This is Kazuya Taguchi, Up Garage ISR Performance GT Radial. So you can see a little bit of damage there. Looks a little squirrely, but still maintains Yeah, again, not looking 100%. That VR-powered 86 coming down into the power alley. Oh, he dials it in. Yeah, you can just see. Yeah, he's just trying to get his foot in the door, man. He is just tiptoeing to the window.
Oh, and it is good enough.
And yes, that's gonna be enough. So that will be enough. She ain't pretty, but she works.
Yep. Round of applause to the hardworking team.
Jerry Young Racing.
And all the drivers that made it into. Unfortunately, there are some drivers with mechanical issues that wasn't able to make it, but congratulations to all the drivers that made it in to the top 32.
Including
so we have
Carnage Carney, the Kraken.
We got two.
Kraken Carney.
We got two cars that have the bio runs in the first two, and I'm not even going to explain this run because pretty much you can kind of tell that he was really working on just trying to get a score in. Wasn't super high on the bank, misses outside zone 3, but pretty much doesn't make a major mistake where it's going to give him an incomplete. Yep. So he does have a score, and that really depends on what the judges give him, but he is in. So it's really going to be, is he going to be, we got the top, I'm sorry, not the top, but then the bottom 7 that we had. Jeff Jones is not here, so we got the bottom 6.
Yep. Also, don't forget tomorrow, game day. We got halftime hangouts. I'm going to be over at K&N with Chris Forsberg, Larry Chen, and Matt Field. The brand new Larry Chen Peaker shirt. It's got Larry Chen's little Peaker guy. Forsberg blackout shirt. Also the Lean K&N E36 pen. You got mini helmets, great for autographs. So halftime hangout. That's going down at 3:10. Then I'll be over at the Type S booth at 3:30. But again, fans look like they're streaming out. If you're leaving, don't worry. Tomorrow we are back at it like a track addict. 72, a 72 for Kazuya Taguchi. Congratulations to him. Here comes Matt Field. See him on that bank. Thanks, fans, for showing up here today. Let's have some words with Matt Field. Again, our K&N #1 qualifier, man. Put it down. What was it? What was the score again? A
91.
91?
Yeah.
Yo. How we doing, man? Nice shirt. Thanks for the support, homeboy.
And, I think getting a high score like that in a big track like this is very hard.
It is.
It is.
It is. He really brought it. So this is how it shapes up. Again, I always say unofficially, just might have some things, little nuances. But Matt Field, Odie Bakshis. So Osbo got Mike Power, and again, notably Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Ryan Turk. Ooh. Yeah, that's a tough one. So all right, well, let's throw it down to my man, good friend of mine and yours, president of Formula Drift, Ryan Sage, who's with our K&N #1 qualifier, Matt Field.
All right, thank you, Jared. I am here with your K&N #1 qualifier, Matt Field. Now, Matt, two things. First of all, this year in qualifying, X Factor's been really hard to come by, right? You've really had to make a point of difference. And outside zone 3 has been one of those areas it's been really challenging for drivers. What was your approach in trying to get that point of difference to get that #1 qualification?
So I think for me, X Factor came in 2 areas, or 3 areas. It was the entry, outer zone 3, and the final corner. I really think that a lot of it came from the final corner because I tossed it in, you can't see anything with the sun setting, and I picked up the throttle. Outer zone 3, I think it was simple as get in and stay in. I think a lot of us struggled with getting into zone 3, and I think that we always have struggled at outer zone 3 since we've been coming here. It's very tight for how fast we're going coming off the bank. It's just commitment, I guess. Commitment and take it easy. Enjoy the lap. Finish the lap. Get it over with.
One other quick question while I still have you. Are you in a better position right now than you were last year at this time when you're making the chase?
This year is similar to last year where we were in and out of the lead, me and Frederick, basically the whole season. I couldn't tell. I know I left here in the lead, so let's just focus on that. Let's just focus on leaving here in the lead, and don't worry where we're at right now.
Everybody, Matt Field, your #1 K&N qualifier here at Evergreen Speedway. Congratulations, Matt.
Awesome. Congratulations, Matt Field. The Bortle exhaust, Heat Wave, Lean Customs, Forge Star wheels, wrapped in GT radial, the Momo gear, the new boots. It was the shoes. It's got to be the shoes, Matt. It's got to be the custom Momo kicks, baby. That's how you got it done. So congratulations, Matt Field. Again, I think, and I think where Matt's head is at is exactly where it needs to be. He's he's evolved so much, just like a Chelsea Denofa. I mean, I remember, doing XCC with Chelsea, just had this certain, he had cockiness because he was doing really well, but there's a maturity that comes along with being a champion, and that mindset.
Like you bring up the cockiness, sometimes, that helps you because that also, pushes you for confidence and what you need to go for the championship. And some people show it in a different way, but that does build the character because that's why we have amazing, almost 40 drivers in the series.
And I always say this, there's a fine line between cocky and confident.
Yes.
Because some people are like, oh, that guy's cocky. You're like, is he? Or is he just really confident of himself? And some people would perceive that as cocky, but, it's like the Snoop Dogg thing, and last but definitely not least, I want to thank myself, because and that's the hard work. So, hey, Robbie, thank you so much, bro.
You got to pat yourself on the shoulder sometimes, too.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thank you very much.
Give everybody their flowers. Thank you so much. Robbie, again, tomorrow I'm going to have Lontaine. I'm going to have Ryan Sage. So, Robbie, you get to not necessarily chill because you might get some protests with Sean over there.
I'm looking forward to those.
Oh, yeah. Yep. All right. So, again, thank you so much for the fans that are in the building. Thank you to the fans that are watching around the world. Stephanie Deenda, I love you. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you to our judges, Brian Eggert, Ryan Lontaine, Chris Yule, even though he's overheating and feeling not 100, but we're feeling 100. And we're going to be back at it like a track at it here at Evergreen Speedway, round 6 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. It's Throwdown, the battle in Seattle.